Hello and welcome to the Video Game Dads podcast. This is episode 44.
44.
Yeah.
We're all palindromic.
Yeah, super palindromic. We are three guys in a basement that talk gaming, fatherhood, and everything in between. We are your hosts. I am Benjamin.
And I am Adam.
And I'm Shane.
Yeah, we are a tri-weekly, amateur, family-friendly podcast. No cussing, but no promises on we won't have any adult content. We'll let you know when it's earmuff time. But this way you can listen to us with family around, friends, preacher, depends.
Maybe
if he's related. I don't know.
Maybe he's one of those hip preachers, you know?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. If you wanted to find us outside of here, you've obviously already found us in your ears. Where can you find us on the old Facebook, Adam?
Facebook.com/videogamedads, or just search Video Game Dads.
Yeah, or you can email us. What's the old email, Shane?
videogamedads@yahoo.com.
Wonderful. And as always, we tend to pretend we don't know where to find us every single episode.
Yep.
It's not like it's our 44th episode. We're holding it up for Michael. Michael couldn't be here tonight, but we've got the three of us, the OG three, I guess, so to speak.
OGs, baby.
Yeah, thanks
We're
for
here.
listening. Thanks for finding us. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about so far. Our wonderful patent pending video game book club. That's a given.
Yep.
Our handheld holla. Named our fans, we're definitely going to talk about. Some of the other things we'll talk about are, hey, we've got another 10 games released in this whole little Sega Classic Mini.
The old Sega Mini.
Yeah. Sega. Yeah, we have a new Finish Him Arcade 1-Up here that we actually kind of tested and played. Thank you for Arcade 1-Up. They let us pay retail just because they didn't want to
Full
make
price,
us feel special.
baby. Nothing but the best for us.
Yeah, and also our upcoming, we're going to a convention here in 2 months, so we're going to talk about that, maybe some guests that they have, life, everything else. And we were going to talk a little bit about multiplayer games, family-friendly games, maybe off the beaten path. We've always kind of talked about here and there. We get emails about, hey, what can I play with my family? Hey, my wife doesn't like video games. Like, well, that's probably going to stay, but, how, what age they are, things like that. We're going to talk about some of those things that you can play with family, friends, that kind of thing. And whatever else kind of tickles our fancy.
Yeah,
huh?
whatever
Huh,
pops
guys?
up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like we're going to just pick the topics that we know you want to talk about.
That's right. We'll be just like your Facebook feed.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's been happening to me more. Like, I got the car, I got the mattress, but randomly we were talking about something out loud when a guest was over in the house, and it was something that person was looking for.
Yeah.
Or something like not a tea kettle or something, maybe I don't know, something like that. The freaking tea kettle showed up. Now that's more than a freaking coincidence, but
Yeah, I don't want to sound all tinfoil hat, helicopter guy or whatever.
yeah.
But my wife and I was telling Benjamin about this earlier, but we went furniture shopping earlier, and we happened to peruse through like the exercise equipment, or as I like to call them, the clothes hanger section.
Yep, that's what it turns
Yeah,
into.
the expensive clothes hanger
absolutely.
section. And we were looking at this like sort of weight machine. It was one of those sort of free weight pulley mechanism kind of deals. It was a Nordic Track. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, look at this thing. It's kind of cool. And I mentioned the name of it. And I swear, we got back to the car. I opened up Facebook. That thing was like the first ad in my feed.
Yep.
It listens. They've already kind of said that your phone is recording you and records the last 30 seconds just in case when you play a video, it plays like the 2 seconds before you play. And they say it just records and then deletes itself.
Yes.
But like, not true.
Yeah, not true, man. Like, my YouTube is just, or like YouTube or Facebook is filled up with like, I'll talk about wrestling, like an old friend comes over or something, and it's like now my whole YouTube is filled with wrestling, or Facebook's filled with wrestling ads.
No, it's
like,
filled
what
with
is going
wrestling
on?
because of those because of the clothes you wear.
Tight. No.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen my singlet.
I know. Well,
Come
why
on.
do you always like have like straps around the middle of your bicep when you're walking around for no reason? It's like he's like, hey, honey, your pantyhose, can I cut it in 4 places?
Yeah,
and
that
wrap
and
around
the-
like I'm a
and
Ninja Turtle or something?
That and the face paint. Yeah.
The face paint?
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah.
a little much.
I know. Yeah.
Sorry.
You can't go in. Yeah, those people when we were in the suburban Quick Trip, gas station, you freaked him out. You can't go doing that all the time, Shane. We talked
You
about
know,
that.
Sorry, guys.
It's not just no shirt, no shoes. It's like no face paint.
No face paint or bicep tie on things.
Yeah, biceps.
You know, if you
Rest
want
in peace, Ultimate Warrior.
R.I.P. baby.
I went back and here recently got on YouTube and just watched like some videos of some of the old wrestlers that were popular when we were kids, like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Gone.
There is no way that guy was not completely coked up. The entire time.
Yeah, still, I would.
He liked his Coca-Cola for sure.
Oh, dude, and it didn't dawn on me. At the time I was like, wow, he's really cool. Not, oh look, he's a crackhead.
Yeah, and it's sad to look
But
back
he was
at some of
awesome.
those
though.
guys.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to be put to sleep by that guy? Imagine his kids, right? He's like, "Oh, good night, moon. Yeah."
Do you think he really talked that way all
Where
the
the
time?
wild-
I hope he
are.
talked that way all the time.
I want to say he did.
He's like, I want to go to sleep. Oh yeah.
I watched that Andre the Giant documentary on HBO.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan was telling a story about him and Andre the Giant, and he was using that voice. So I imagine he actually did talk that way.
Probably, you'd think that. But like, if people call up and stuff, and he's got to order something, or he's out of ink in his printer or something,
I like to think that Ric Flair would just woo, woo.
Speaking of,
every time,
hopefully by the time this airs,
Yeah.
we don't hear bad news. But I don't know if you heard, Ric Flair's like in the hospital again.
Oh,
Again,
dang it! I probably
just
shouldn't have
saved-
talked about
yeah,
that then.
I'm saving you from something. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
back, and it says serious condition. There's been no comment.
Oh, it sucks.
I know a year ago, like not to foreshadow, but like we work in healthcare. That guy's already been on borrowed time with
Yeah.
everything he's had
Yeah.
done, his heart issues, and he had a big clot. His bowel obstructed out of nowhere without having bowel cancer like a year ago, and he
That's
lived
insane.
through that.
Yeah, he just keeps ticking, man.
Not perforated. Sorry, like he just had a big.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, and I think, but then if you watch his old wrestling clips, it's because it's like he can make his blood pressure probably like 300 over 100
Man.
just by like holding.
How can you get that jacked up, man?
Dude, I
Just-
don't know. It's cool though, right? Isn't it so funny? It's like, boy, this guy's whatever. It's like, man, he's cool though. Huh?
Yeah.
Like he did it for us, man.
Yeah.
He did it for
Yeah,
us. Yeah, but he's 70. He's made it to 70 so far. So I hope he makes it to 80. But
Maybe.
he's in the hospital now, so that's why I wanted to at least
Yeah, well,
say that out loud.
I still hope he went woo a lot.
Yeah,
That's what I always remember, man.
yeah. They're starting an IV. Woo! Put in the catheter. Woo!
I don't know. Ric Flair, all those guys. And actually, my favorite wrestlers when I was a kid was Spike and Animal. The tag team duo.
Oh,
the guys
yeah,
with
yeah.
they had like the football pads
Yeah,
with like the
football pads.
spikes on them. Yeah.
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 Hawk and Animal.
Was it Hawk and
Yeah,
Animal?
it's Hawk and Animal.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
just remembering the
I'm pretty
names.
sure about that.
Yeah.
It's
What about the Bash Brothers? Right.
Bash Brothers.
Right. And, the guys that walked in like this.
Oh, that was
The Dudley
like
Brothers
Australian.
or
no, not
what was it?
Dudley. It was
Bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers.
Yeah, the
Thank you. Good
Bushwhackers.
job,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Bushwhacker.
Yeah,
So
Bushwhackers,
my
man.
kid walks around like that when he gets real excited. So it instantly cracks us up because then we start laughing and then he kind of redoes it. But if you imagine a little 2-year-old walking out with, if you ever seen, I guess just if you don't know what we're
It's
talking about.
almost sort of like the Conor McGregor walk or like Vince McMahon, like
Yeah.
swinging your arms like you're Mr.
Yeah,
Big Time.
but you're swinging
Yeah.
them up and down
Yeah.
like you're a
Oh, he's
toy
going
or
like
something.
full on,
Yeah.
like
No, he
wrist
does.
or parallel.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
awesome.
legit.
I know. I want to take a picture of it.
You got
or
to. Send me
video.
that video.
I know,
Yeah,
man.
that's
It's
awesome.
cool. But it's sleeping as usual. The kiddos. How are you guys doing? How are the kids? Huh?
Kids are awesome. Sleeping better. My youngest always had a problem with sleeping, and now she's actually sleeping through the night.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're doing really good. Lexi, update on her. She's doing great.
Great.
She's got all her weight back. She's got all of her energy back. In school, she's in two schools now with her little bit of speech stuff, and she's kicking butt, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's doing awesome. Deacon's doing great.
Great to hear.
His speech is really coming around too, and yeah, man, we can't complain.
Good. I know all the longtime listeners love to hear updates on Lexi. So
Yeah.
great. She's doing
She's
good. Every
doing
time I
great.
see her, yeah, she's good. She's like now the old kid, the
I
oldest
know.
kid.
She's
Yeah.
at this fun age. It's weird. I don't know why, but she's picked up on Pikachu. I don't know why she likes Pikachu, but
Yeah.
like Detective Pikachu for the past like week, we just haven't had time. I've been busy. I started my own company, so
Yeah.
I've been doing that. But I think we're gonna go in the next few days to go watch it. But she is all about Pikachu and Pokemon. She's been watching like
Interesting.
cartoons that I don't even know about. So.
Yeah, Pokemon kind of. I missed the boat
branches
on that one.
off.
Yeah,
and everything.
if I was 5 years younger, I'd be Pokemon. But
I would have too. Yeah.
but I think I'm just too old.
Yeah, I gotta catch them all. I
And
guess.
then, and then she went to like
Build
Build-A-Bear and got like a Pokemon little build thing, and then an Eevee too. And she just
I saw those. Yeah,
Yeah.
we took Grayson to the mall, and he's like, I want one of I think they had Pikachus you could stuff, and
you
build a
stuff 'em.
bear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they got the little sayings, so you press the little button and Pika Pika. So I hear that throughout the day. So
Cool.
Yeah, that never gets old.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm still doing my Nutrisystem, eating all my meals that come in the mail, and so I've lost 13 pounds now.
Oh,
Last time
nice.
I was 6, but
Lucky 13.
yep, I've like 5 weeks now doing it, but I'm super committed, and it's like, it's so funny. My wife's always like, "You need to eat something." I was just like, "I'm not as hungry." Like when you're doing it, it takes a while, but like I'm realizing like I'm hungry all the time. I know that sounds terrible, but you do kind of get used to it. I was so like addicted to sugar and stuff, and getting away from that and like picking up something for my wife and then not getting something for myself, that's not what I used to do. And now I'm like, it's the norm. Or I was by Wendy's and I was like, I want a Frosty. And I was like, I could, but then I said no to it. So I'm like, I'm at least committed. I need to do that, because the older you get, the more like, and I could tell already a difference. I was able to do like, I haven't worked out yet. So I'm starting that, but that was all just changing diet. But I've like cut out the sugar completely. And my meals are a lot smaller. But like I will say, yes, I'm like hungry all the time. But when you're kind of constantly a little hungry, you do kind of get used to it. And after I got through the first 3 weeks, it's better. Like I can go like
when I'm working, it's like if I go eat a big lunch or something, like I'm unproductive the rest of the day. It's like, so if I could just a little bit of snack just to keep me going, I feel better throughout the day. It's weird to overeat in the middle of the afternoon. So
yeah, the cakes and the pies and all that.
Yeah,
other
all
stuff.
that
But
crap. Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, 226. No more of that.
How's your kiddo doing?
Well, they're doing
Kiddos.
good. They're doing well. My youngest, she's not sleeping through the night yet, but she's now waking up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
which I think is preferable to 2 a.m.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've made progress.
It's work.
We're getting there. Well, she goes back. She does go back to sleep. So she wakes up at like 4, and she goes back to sleep at like 4:30 or 5.
Well, that's not bad. Yeah. Then
Yeah,
just
so you get another
self-soothe.
hour or 2
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, so that's her. My 5-year-old is just like hair on fire, you know, all day long. Just wants to be in everything, running around.
I can see that.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Have you seen him? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Like that's the way my day goes now. Is like I feel like I'm on a, where it's like a prison watch or something like that. You just don't know where he is, or he's out on the road, or
Yeah.
He's got some energy,
he just
man.
disappears all the time, and it's really frustrating.
He's got some energy.
Oh, I'm telling you, and we're always like, just tell us where you're going to be, tell us where you're going to go. But he just he just disappears. The only way that you know that he's gone is it gets quiet.
Yeah.
You're like, why is it quiet?
It's too quiet in here.
And he will not shut a door.
Oh, really?
And I remember my dad.
So he leaves a trail.
I remember my dad freaking out when I was a kid. We're not paying to air condition the entire neighborhood or whatever. And now I'm like the old man. I'm like, gosh dang it! Why did you leave? Just shut the door. I mean, but he does. He'll just leave the door wide open. He'll run outside.
Oh,
and leave
even
the
the
door
front
wide
door and
open.
stuff. But you got some woods around you and stuff. You never know, a deer could come in or something. I don't know. It's warranted. I would feel the same way if he left the freaking door open.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I'd be scared.
Dude, he does.
See that
He just
thing.
leaves it wide open all the time. All
These
the time.
inconsiderate kids.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Got these heating bills. Got to cool the house. Come on,
Dude,
kids.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, so that never changes, right? Kids. But do you know what else changes? The fact that we are all together here and we're some dads and we're going to talk about some video games.
And
Yeah, about some book clubs. Oh,
It's
and
a book
about some
club.
mistakes. We'll talk about that here in a second. You'll love this. Yeah.
Yeah, dad brain.
Yeah, let's move on with our next segment. What do you say, guys, huh?
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's do our video game book club.
Yikes! Stripes! Fruit stripe gum! It's a yummy fruity one! Stick a stripe of fun! Like a flying flip-flop! Blow a woo, a pink-pot! Yikes! Stripes! Fruit stripe gum! A really, really wilder! A ton of fun, a miler! A flavor overloader! Wow! Exploder! Yikes! Stripes! Fruit stripe gum! Man from outer space! Plunk a pop in your face! Fruity flavors in the pack! Gooey gobble! Butt smack! Yikes! Stripes!
Fruit stripe gum and bubble gum.
All right, our video game wheel club was brought to you by Fruit Stripe Gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
I totally
sponsoring.
don't have attention deficit disorder after watching that.
That
Yeah.
is totally ADHD
Dude,
right there.
That commercial though, I know it. It's like da 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 da. Get some cocaine.
Yeah, it was
clean
like-
your, clean your bathroom with
It's
your.
like popping back and forth. It's like, what is Louise?
Dude,
Who
man,
edited this
it
thing
has
up?
it has more bass to it than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bump
No,
this in the car.
I think Sir Mix-a-Lot was responsible for that commercial.
It's just that was back. Now they have laws against like doing
that's all
like all the
I'm saying.
sugar and stuff with the commercials in between the. But like, I mean, that's why all our teeth fell out and stuff like that. Like, I want some Fruit Stripe gum right now.
Gotta have
and
it,
I'll
man.
do anything. So I'll sell.
Fruit Stripe gum was a genius too because they marketed it like this, and Fruit Stripe gum the flavor is gone by the time it hits your tongue. It's just like
It's the worst because
Yeah.
it's such a tease. It's like
yeah,
the
and then
first-
you spit it out and you get another piece.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is right. They
It
should-
lasted a little bit longer
put that
than
in
like.
the lab
Do you
or
guys
something.
remember the Band-Aid ones? Do you remember the Band-Aid?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it came in a little bit.
They came
Those
in-
ones
They came in a
straight-
tin.
Yeah, the tins. Yeah, those straight went
And
to
who
crap
would
real
have
quick.
thought that was a good idea? Let's put bubble gum and make it look like Band-Aids.
I know.
I don't know, we bought it.
Well, hey, what about the chew? Big
Big League Chew.
Is that still around? Hopefully.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it is,
Did you guys
surprisingly.
Did you guys
Yeah.
ever get candy cigarettes?
Oh yeah.
My mom would not let us have candy cigarettes.
Oh really?
And so I used to sneak candy cigarettes. Like that was my contraband.
Yeah.
Was the candy cigarette.
And you always pay for it because you don't know. Do I blow in or blow out? And you make that mistake once.
Did you roll it up in your sleeve when you came in the house?
slick my hair back.
yeah, slick your hair
Yeah, I
back.
look like I'm from the Outsiders.
Yeah.
Are you pony
like-
boy? Were you pony boy or what?
I was soda pop.
It's like 6-year-old Adam comes in with his Wrangler jeans and his shirt tucked in, and then a bunch of those candy cigarettes in his arm and a Stetson hat. Can you
Yeah, he's
imagine?
right. Yeah, let's go beat up some Sochas.
Patrick Swayze out of nowhere. There was some big names in that movie.
Oh yeah, man.
I always forget that.
Outsiders is a classic, dude.
I only watch it probably a handful of times. Every time I do watch it, it's great.
Yeah,
But,
no, it's
man, there are some
awesome.
big
Yeah,
names
Matt
every time I go
Dillon,
back and
Tom
look at it.
Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Ralph Macchio.
Yeah,
Macchio.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if this was pre. I guess it was post Karate Kid.
Was it post? or
Yeah,
was it
I don't
pre?
know. I don't know.
think it was pre Karate Kid.
Everybody was a big something except like the main person in the
I
thing.
know, that's a crazy thing.
Yeah, Pony Boy.
Yep. That is a crazy. No, he actually did some
Did he
movies
do
too.
some stuff?
He did some
Or-
stuff.
yeah.
I can't quote any of them right
I
now.
still, I will always take Juicy Fruit over Fruit Stripe, but Fruit Stripe, the flavor was better, but it was gone in a second.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
for
have to eat
sure.
the whole dang thing.
And it was always did you guys ever do this? But there was like this rumor that the wrapper was like disintegratable
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, I
So
remember
you,
that.
So
You
you just
eat
throw
it
it in
too.
your mouth with the wrapper still on it.
Why did that
you ever do
why did that
I
cross
never heard
state
that.
I don't know.
lines?
That was
Yeah.
like such a weird, and it totally wasn't because there was always still like paper wadded up
It's like,
Somebody is
in your gum,
you, man.
and it was probably like processed with some kind of a lead derivative.
yeah,
you know?
right. It's just a big dare, and we all fell for it.
Yeah,
across
that's what
state
it
lines.
was. Did you guys ever have that gum that had the juice in the center? They had like a 7-Up one. They had
Yeah.
a Dr. Pepper
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, those ones were good.
Yeah,
man.
it was
They're
like
so
a 7-Up
great.
gum. They had a cherry 7-Up
Uh-huh,
one.
yeah.
And the outside was kind of like almost like chiclet-like. And then the inside was like a gel.
yeah.
Like almost like
Yeah.
that stuff that the tube of toothpaste candy type stuff.
Oh yeah, that stuff.
You know
was
what
good.
was,
I love that.
Blockbuster was Blockbuster and great for a reason. But like the candy by the aisle,
Oh,
they would have
yeah.
like, it looked like a Game Gear and sticks of gum in there.
Yeah,
And
they
they would
have
have like,
random-
they would have those. It was the first time I saw those cookie dough candy.
Oh,
and stuff
cookie
like that.
dough bites. Yeah, the bites. Yep, that was
Yep,
the first.
yep.
Yep, I'm
And the
with ya.
pre-made
Yep.
popcorn and all that kind of stuff. They knew. I mean, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
Outside
that's probably
when
the only reason
didn't.
they lasted so long is because of that stuff.
Yeah, the chiclets though. Then you bring those up; those were awesome because you'd always stick them on your front teeth.
Yeah.
You know?
But I would always choke on one. You'd like, oh, I'm gonna have like 20 chiclets and put them in my mouth, and then you almost have a near-death experience.
Did you guys ever get the little baggies full of like the tiny little chiclets? You know what I'm talking about?
I think that's drugs. What are you talking
no,
about?
no. They
What
had.
kind of drug was that?
God, I wish I could remember. No, it was gum, but it was like little tiny chiclets that were in a little pouch in a little bag.
Pouch in a bag. Nope.
No,
No.
just
I got
me?
something. I just remembered during Easter there was a little carton of eggs. And they were gum. Did you guys ever have those? But they were like styrofoam.
Oh, yeah,
And then you pop them
yes.
open. Those were so
Yeah,
amazing.
the little styrofoam thing.
Yes, my grandma used to buy those by the tons for me during
Are they
Easter.
still around? Maybe we just need to hang around the candy aisle more.
I don't know.
Are they still around?
These weren't peeps.
Maybe we should get a
No.
windowless van
They
also.
were. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They were real tiny though, like real
Joke.
tiny. Yeah, like tiny food.
Yeah, man. That I love those, man. Those are so good.
Yeah.
Those
well,
lasted not long either.
Well, anyway, either way, thanks for the nostalgia drip, fruit stripe gum. Let's talk about our video game book club. For those new listeners, our video game book club is a segment where each episode we pick a game that may be overlooked or misunderstood, most likely not in the top 15% of whatever system library we are currently on, and we'll play it in between episodes and discuss it much like a book club. We encourage our listeners to submit suggestions for the video game book club and for us to discuss them the next time. And this is where the joke comes in. You don't have to stick on whatever console library. It could be handheld, whatever. And then we put it in our little bingo ball cage thing that we roll around and put videos on.
We need a good name for that.
Let's cut to the chase here. We have had 44 episodes, and I completely dad-brained the last episode. No one called me out on it.
I dad-brained as well.
You did?
It was a double dad-braining.
We didn't get an email or anything on this. So what happened was, I redid our thing. I went back through all of them, put them all in one. We kind of redid this so it's like a physical lottery where we put your picks in. Well, I accidentally picked a game we already picked. I forget because it was like one that we didn't talk a lot about, but it was a really good game. It was Extra Innings for the SNES. I knew we did baseball game. I thought it was for the Genesis back in the day.
It was because we spent too much time playing and talking about Saturn Bomberman.
Yeah, that was the episode, I think 16, 17, a long time ago. So anyway, we accidentally picked a game that was already picked. So to make it up and everything, we're only going to talk about the dad pick, which was mine, which was the Red Star for PS2. And then this next episode, we have 2 listener picks, which we'll talk about at the end of the segment. So to make up for it, we're going to do 2 listener picks. And as always, to make sure that we're doing this legit and we're not just picking the ones we want, we put a little 1-2 minute video of our picks on our YouTube. So go and check that out if that tickles your fancy as well. You can find it, Video Game Dads on the YouTube. That's just mainly for the people who
extra content.
Yeah, who dig that kind of stuff. But that way we're doing it for real because our randomizer kind of always would pick like newer games or the real old ones, so things are in there. But anyway, my bad. That's completely my fault. So this episode, we're only going to talk about one game, and that is the Red Star for PS2, my pick for the PlayStation 2. We worked all the way up to the Generation 5 or whatever that is now. Is that 5?
Gen 5?
I think it's 6.
That's
Is it
6?
Gen 6?
I don't know.
I get confused when it starts in PS2.
Occasionally, I'll have like a listener come up and they'll be like, "What's your favorite system of the 4th generation of games?" And I'm like, because I never think of them in the generation format like that. I mean,
you should say back like, you know what I think? I think they were all good. What was yours?
yeah, exactly.
I'm going to use that because
I think of groupings of similar systems. I mean, you have like GameCube, PS2, Xbox. They kind of go together.
That's usually how I do it.
Yeah, you got Master, NES. They kind of go together. But
where's the Game Boy Color in that?
The whole like generation thing just doesn't make any sense at all to me. But whenever people say that, they're like, "Oh, what about Generation 4, 3, or 5?" And I'm just like,
we're gonna. How about this? We'll mention it when we get good at. Last episode, we talked about starting next episode. Once we put on our little poll on our Facebook, we were gonna let you guys kind of pick. We're gonna kind of go deep into a certain system. And we kind of picked those last time, and we'll see what y'all pick, but we'll make sure to say whatever.
We're going to give you the butcher's view of the system.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, I get it. Then
it's like that Tommy Boy quote:
"The blood of the system, the guts."
Yeah, exactly.
The stuff that you don't. The stuff
beneath the surface.
Yeah. After you listen to our episode, you're gonna throw up. We should put that on a dang billboard.
Oh boy.
Let's talk about this book club. I am so happy to pick this and play this finally. What's this game, Adam?
It is the Red Star for PS2.
Yeah. So you got some stuff about it?
I've got a little bit here.
Okay.
Once I get my iPad working.
Okay.
So it is a game published by XS Games and developed by Acclaim Studios Austin.
Nice.
And I guess before that, Archangel Studios.
Right.
So I think you have a little bit more on the story behind that to tell us. But it was released for PS2 April 20th of 2007.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird time for a PS2 game to come out.
2007? Yeah, that's a weird time. Yeah. That's not a good time for a game to be coming out for PS2.
Yeah, a little late.
Yeah, so this one was interesting. So the original developers, publishers made their way through it, did their normal like, hey, this game, it's going to come out, it's going to be awesome. And then it hit developmental heck and stopped. They stopped production. It was going to be a lost game. It was going to be one of those fill in the blank, like 40 winks for the NES.
Yeah.
Death game for the PS1. And then all of a sudden, I feel like almost 2.5 years later, they got the development team that was working on it back together and finished it up and then released it, published it. So it checks all the boxes for a game that, you know, a lot of some of our, you know, our clientele, our listeners are kind of, you know, the collectors, they're been in this for a while, you know, some know how, you know, always try to find a new game. This like fits the mold for something, especially with YouTube going around for 10 years where you feel like you've turned every stone.
Yeah,
and, you know, there's some people
everything.
who have talked about this off the, you know, I kind of like the My Life in Gaming guys, have talked about it, and but still, even for the obscure hidden buried treasure and stuff, there's a lot of lists that this never makes. And I feel it checks all the boxes. It is a game that if you like the PS2, get it. If you don't like the PS2, get it. It's got kind of old school gameplay.
Yeah, it's old school gameplay.
It's got
with fancy new graphics.
Yeah, action. It's so you know, basically, I think I picked it because I heard about it when maybe just a couple years ago, and I looked for it, and it was still maybe only a $30 game at the time. Really hard to find. Never came across it. It's called the Red Star. It's based off like a comic book series. It wasn't super popular here in America. The story is kind of like espionage. What is it when you kind of got a group of mercenaries kind of going against
It sounds
the norm? It's
very
like
like
steampunk.
an
it's futuristic.
80s movie.
Yeah,
that I've
yeah.
heard
Well,
of.
you know, like the red. What's the one where
Yeah, with
that bad
Patrick-
Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, Patrick Swayze and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hybrid game too. It plays like beat 'em up with guns. So kind of side scrolling, kind of like you know,
A more serious Dynamite Cop.
yeah, I'd say Streets of
Yeah.
Rage, but actually it gives a camera perspective of like a Battletoads, but plays nothing like Battletoads.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 2 player. You can do co-op. I highly recommend co-op. You can pick between the guy and the girl, and the guy is a little bit more powerful with his ranged weapons, his gun, and then the girl not quite as powerful damage rate with her guns, but she's faster. I would always say if you're playing by yourself, pick the girl because you can dodge some bullets. This is kind of a hybrid of a action side-scrolling beat-em-up shooter and an actual like shooter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The boss, when you transition to like the boss at the end of the level, it kind of turns into a Pocky and Rocky Ikaruga hybrid.
Yeah.
And it's fun as heck. The music is good. The action is good. It feels like Smash TV, Ikaruga, and Streets of Rage all kind of rolled up into
It
one.
actually kind of threw me into mind of, you ever played Loaded for PS1?
Oh
yeah,
o-
that's
overhead,
sort of, yep,
yeah.
that's
I mean,
got
the
to look at
boss-
that too, sort of.
The boss levels are kind of like that, you know,
Yeah.
top down with the, you know, projectile weapons, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's definitely a game, and it's hard. It gets NES hard once you get past like 5th, 6th level. People, I heard people saying like it gets harder once you get to like level 10. I was like, I don't know, I thought it was pretty hard from the get go, but I did play as the guy initially. It is a little easier with the lady. And then a ton easier. I highly recommend if you're looking for a game, if you and a buddy or you're at the age or you and your significant other like to play games together. It's like a fun actiony game. And like I said, the protagonist, male and female, so that's good. And you are kind of constantly the graphics too. They're not a 2D style. They're still kind of a 3D
Yeah, it's
cannon
polygonal.
spike polygonal. Yeah, great. The music is good too. It's like before, you know, way before you got into any kind of like dubstep and when it was too heavy on the bass, but it was definitely like guitar riffs, kind of action rock, but still good enough to be in the background where it didn't like bombard you. Where I feel like if this game would have been made today, they would have made a bigger deal on the soundtrack to the point might have like overshadowed the game, which sometimes happens with indie games. Nothing against indie games, but I was starting to think about that. Like, there's some indie games that are so great where I actually don't even want to play the game. I just want to listen to the music. And when it gets to be that much, then you kind of think, well, how much did the music actually make this game better? But anyway, that's a different talk for people that probably don't even want to hear that. Since you guys took the bait on that, you guys shut up. Like, no, you know, it's like,
No,
anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
There are a lot of games that I really like the soundtracks probably more than the game.
Yeah,
Especially modern.
Yeah, and it's weird because I'm always like, God, the modern they're so good, but I'm like, yeah, I never go back and play these things. Like, there's so many good ones, like Shovel Knight, Next Machina and all this kind of stuff is like they're real good. But
Actually, the
Messenger
game I just finished.
Oh yeah, to me because it's really wails on it, like some of the notes. And it's like,
The Messenger's got a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
No, Iconoclast is kind of like that. I mean, it's a pretty good game overall, but the soundtrack, it's just awesome.
Cool.
To the point where I was playing it just like I played it the whole playthrough in handheld.
Yeah.
But I would have to find my headphones before I really wanted to play it.
Yeah. I think I told you guys I was playing Beat Saber last time. I'm listening to Beat Saber in my car on my way to work. I get so pumped, and it's like I'm going in like I'm gonna freaking be in the Olympics or something. I'm going to work like I do. I feel important stuff. I come in like guns blazing. I put down my
your glow sticks.
Yeah,
did you leave the glow sticks in the car?
Yeah, like I got my satchel and my pen and paper. Do you guys need anything right now? And it's like. Yeah, I don't know why I pump myself up to do that, but I'm like on the highway. I'm like, nobody better cut me off, or I'm gonna freaking burnout takedown him into a freaking wall. But anyway, back to the game, the Red Star. How far did either of you guys get on it? I know we've been busy, so I honestly feel like this is one I could have played for a whole month, and I would have played more of it. I only had 2 good gaming sessions with it.
Yeah, I only got about like 30 minutes an hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is a game that I've got a couple hours into it. So there's some kind of upgradable elements to it. It kind of plays like a soft RPG where, you get better drops and better pickups based on kind of your performance. Mm-hmm. But if you aren't that great at these type of games, so if I'm describing this type of game and it doesn't sound like something you're necessarily good at, because, some people who might play a slower paced game doesn't have much twitch reflexes probably won't do well with this game because it's kind of unforgiving and it won't get easier because you won't be able to power up.
Yeah.
Now, if you're pretty good at these games, you'll get this nice arch, but I almost feel like this is not a game for your kids. I didn't pick a good one for family. Because you can't just give your kid the second controller and have them help you or something. Like you kind of need to both know what you're doing. So it's not for the novice, but it's definitely not over your head. This isn't Dark Souls or these kind of new games that have come out. So just keep that in mind. It's also still, I looked it up recently, surprisingly not an expensive game. Do you guys have the price on this?
I looked it up. Yeah, it's like
30?
$35 or so for a complete
30,
copy.
35.
I kind of thought over the last year it popped up, but I was wrong. So there's 7-8 copies on eBay, and I noticed they're all kind of buy it now. That's the way eBay works and stuff. But some of them are like 80. There's one that's like sealed, and it's still about that. And there's some at 50, 60. And then there's still 2 or 3. Like there's one for right now, buy it now at like $37, complete, perfect. I'm like...
It blows my mind, like on games like this, like that have variations of
feels
gameplay.
Like 150. Yeah. It feels like
I don't know how like games like this aren't the high price because you're getting so many
because it's
different
PS2,
genres.
man. It's because there's 2,600 of them.
No, you're right. Okay, so let's talk about that. It is true. PS2,
but like,
hard to play PS2 on these systems where they look good.
And PS2 is, I mean, it's collectible because there is so much niche kind of weird stuff, but there's just so much of it.
Yeah, and it's not this kind of niche. It's mainly those the Sudoku.
Yeah, it's Japanese kind of stuff. Yeah.
and Dot Hack and Yada Yo and Final Fantasy and things like that.
I mean, it's such a throwback to the old school that it kind of doesn't really. It's not really in line with most of the other quote unquote hidden gems in the PS2 library. It's just different.
Yeah, it definitely aligns with hidden gems in general or a buried treasure in general, but it does not align with PS2. That's very true. So all the more reason why you listen to this podcast.
It feels more like a Dreamcast game, honestly. Like it's kind of arcadey, you know, it's pick up and play, quick hits, you know.
Looks really good.
Actiony.
I feel like even the PS2, I don't know, powerfulness, like Dreamcast had, the frame rate down. And I will say I don't think the Dreamcast could fill these graphics the way they're kind of doing, because some of the stuff the PS2 is doing, I feel, is that emotion engine stuff or whatever the heck they were hawking with their PS2. And I always wanted to kind of say, but I'm obviously not a fanboy. I don't think the game could have looked this good on the Dreamcast, but the frame rate probably would have been a little bit better. The frame rate's not great in a couple areas. Some of the progression stuff, the menu systems aren't super. You could tell where they skimped on a little bit of production value. But overall, it is a game that, like, I think a lot of our listeners might be surprised to play and like. If you've played it when you were younger, buy a lottery ticket. Who knows about this? I want to meet somebody who said, "Oh yeah, I played the Red Star back in 2007." It didn't sell too
that
well.
Release date.
Yeah. As soon,
I pre-ordered it. Went to the midnight.
Yeah.
Went to the midnight launch.
As soon as someone
at
with
EB Games, man.
over 150,000 subscribers mentions it, it'll bump up, not artificially, just because there's not many copies out there. So if it sounds good, I also feel like if you're a thrifty buyer, you could still probably find this maybe and get lucky.
Yeah, it's been sitting around for a while or something. Nice old price tag on there.
Yeah, definitely. But even if you're a kind of collector, and I know spending $38, $40 on a PS2 game, and I don't overly recommend things like that, I would say it's a pretty safe bet. Again, it just the way it presents itself, it feels like a game in our collector circle that's an over $100 game. And since it's not, and you're interested, get it. Let's talk about the back of the box on this sucker, huh? Let's do that. I've got it in front of me. It's a one-up quote to start out the beginning. This hardcore game captures everything good about the genre. Now, here's something funny. Just from the get-go, that is the U.S. beginning title, right? Okay. And the PAL title, art's the same, font's the same, completely different text. So on the PAL back of the box, it says, a cross between Streets of Rage and Ikaruga.
Sold.
Ingenious and fresh. Why didn't they? I
Sold.
Guarantee you, if they would have put that on the back of our box, that would have tipped enough hats here that it would have gotten
the whole
mentioned.
like. There are certain things, certain words that drive me crazy that people overuse. The term "quote unquote" hardcore gamer, just makes me want to vomit.
It made me giggle when I heard hardcore.
It's like, what does that even mean? Does that mean I buy every Call of Duty that comes out? I mean, what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah. The Red Star tells the tale of an alternate Russia, the URRS, where massive technology and futuristic weapons are yielded by its army, the Red Fleet. Set in a Russian-inspired parallel universe, the Red Star thrusts you into a gritty, futuristic world of chaotic warfare, industrial technology, and arcane magic. The Red Star combines hard-hitting old-school melee combat with intense old-school shooter gameplay to create an incredible fast-paced action experience like no other. I agree with all this so far. Play as 3 legendary warriors, each with unique skills, weapons, fighting styles. 2-player cooperative. Ooh, they didn't even say co-op. They said the whole dang word. Thank you. Gosh, we abbreviate everything in this freaking thing. I love 2-player cooperative gameplay. Lets you enter the fray with a friend. Relentless gameplay that seamlessly blends brutal melee with old school shooter gameplay. Didn't they say that already? Okay, so they're kind of repeating themselves on the same.
They're driving home the point.
Here's another one. Unlock secret characters. I didn't do that. I don't know. Hidden gameplay modes and more for extensive replay value. Based on the Eisner Award nominated Archangel Studios comic from writer-creator, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'll give him the shout out because he made this. Christian Gossett. Say, hey, Christian Gossett. Maybe tweet at him. Say, hey, Christian, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Nice to meet you.
Solid game, bud.
Hope you're on this side of the ground.
solid.
I don't know how old this comic is. Named as one of Wizards magazine's. I do remember. Hold on a second.
Yeah. I
Hold
remember
on a
Wizard
second.
Magazine.
Here we go.
Wizard magazine's top 100 trade paperbacks of all time. Wizard magazine. Holy cow! Do you guys remember that?
Cover arts were amazing on some Wizards.
Yeah,
man.
I met. Okay, so very brief time. I don't know how we did this in elementary school. I was part of a comic book club that would meet in a library.
And get beat up by somebody. We'd all meet, and then this bigger kid would beat us all up.
It was crazy. You know what? I was not good enough for that group because it was something that like the parents set up, and it was one of those like nothing against my mom.
I've always been scared of comic book people. They know too much.
They do.
But when they're
kids,
but like when they're kids, it was so pure and nice. And I just remember we'd meet every week and we'd talk about cars. But here's the funny thing: one of the parents of one of the kids like had their crap together because they would invite like people of the industry to our little like Kansas City downtown library thing where there's like 8 kids and like we're not something special and there wasn't some whatever, and there would be this artist, and I feel like maybe this is before conventions were really big. I think that's how this worked.
It had to have been.
So this was like 1993, 94, 92 era. And there was like, we had a couple of comic book, and one of them was the guy who did like Archangel and some of the Wizard covers, and did a lot of the like, and some of the things that were in like Marvel. And he came and like talked to us and showed us art and gave us all like an exclusive like foil card of some superhero thing he did. But he was like a legit person. It wasn't some like, you know, whatever, amateur hour thing, which is fine. You know, that would have been more appropriate. But we had like, and as a kid, I knew it was like interesting and new, but like thinking about it now, I don't know how the heck that worked. Yeah.
That guy did not need to be there.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think that's part of it. Was probably back then, you know, we didn't have it like now, you know, that Endgame movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's up to now, but you know, people
$4 gazillion.
I'm sure it is by now. You know, take that, James Cameron, Titanic Avatar. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a nice one for Adam to edit. You'll never know what he said because there's going to be a beep. Memory card holds 82 KB analog control. Oh, actually, yeah. Thank God. You know, I didn't talk much about the control. The control feels really great. Boy, if you don't use your analog sticks, good luck with that.
That'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, pick this up. How about this?
I can only imagine trying to play a game.
I was, if you're a collector, you're over 40, buy this game. I normally don't like push things, but like if you're over 40, you're gonna like this game. If you don't, show up at my door and I'll give you your money back, or you can slap me in the face. Whatever people do nowadays.
Steal his comic books.
Yeah, take a leather glove and whack me on the face. You sir, you sir disrespected my. I don't know how people. Anyway, I think you'll like this game. Baby Bottles. I know I played it more than anybody. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5. It's the most prestigious award that I can muster.
Wow, that's the golden baby bottle.
The golden baby bottle.
It is. Wait, wouldn't that be filled with pee? We don't want that. How about platinum? Can we go platinum?
The platinum baby bottle.
Let's go platinum.
Let's go platinum.
Yeah. All right. Platinum baby bottle for this one. It's great. I think you'll like it. Now that I've talked it up, you're going to be all disappointed. That's how the games work, right?
I'm gonna go 4 baby bottles.
4 baby bottles. Okay. Yeah. Shane, if you say anything less than that, I'm gonna knock you off that stool you're sitting.
0.5. No, 4 out of 5 baby bottles.
Yeah, I know you had the least amount of time, but at least you played it a little bit before this podcast. You got a flavor for it, but it makes you want more, right?
That's yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, makes you want more. I get that. So this video game book club, we obviously only had one because of my mess up last time. We were going to talk about a baseball game twice and then lost all our listeners. I'm just kidding. But this time, again, to make it up, we're going to, the dads are going to take a break this episode next for 45. And we're doing 2 listener episodes, which we're going to take a very quick break and figure out right now. All right, so we just had our 2 video game book club listener picks, and we put the video up on our YouTube. Our first listener pick that came through has been in there quite some time. Reveal it, Adam. What was our first pick?
Rock and Roll Racing.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Racing for the Super Nintendo. That's a fun one. It's a that was from Jacob. It was like a not isometric racing game.
Yeah. It's like RC Pro-Am, only more rock and roll-ish.
Or way more rock and roll. It actually had like freaking chip tunes of like some real bands in there. We won't give it away. We're not reviewing it right this second. We're going to review it next episode.
I always want to play it, man.
Yeah.
This looks awesome.
Our second pick is going to be Shane?
Air Fortress.
Yeah, Air Fortress
Pachoo.
For the NES. That one's been in there not as long. I know nothing about it.
Me either.
But
Adam, I played it a lot as a kid.
Awesome.
We had it at my grandma's house.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
Good story. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. Sorry, I opened up 2 cans. Most of the time, Shane takes care of it, and he's the color commentary. he's
the random crowd.
Yeah, he's like, hey, what's up? And it's going to be me. Anyway, I know what I'm having is some of this. I don't work tomorrow, so I have this Boulevard Brewing Company is our local kind of big brewer. We have
Greatest
tons of great
brewery ever.
breweries.
Greatest brewery ever.
Shout out to City Barrel downtown. A friend of mine owns that bar. But which Shane, you need to go to that. Being a beer guy,
Which
it's
one?
really good beer. It's called City Barrel.
Never had it. Yeah, I need to go there.
Yeah,
then.
it's
for
really
sure.
good. He's a friend of mine that always alchemist. Like he would do brewing stuff and had all these tubes and stuff. Looked like
wow.
a mad scientist. He loved beer, and then he opened up a
yeah.
thing. And I went there, and it's like legit, and it's popular with the millennials and the hipsters and stuff. So they're going there, and it's going to stay in business now. Anyway, Boulevard. I'm drinking this Tech 9 Bow Low wheat beer with pineapple and coconut added.
Does it have Caribou in it? Caribou? That's a Tech 9 song. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, he usually
yes.
has it's got the Caribou or whatever.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. I'm pretty strict.
I'm hip in the streets, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
More than I knew.
That minivan's giving me my street cred up.
But I dig it. The 5.5% has us feeling good. That's
Now,
gonna
it's
be
a pineapple. Yeah, pineapple, right? Yeah, it's got pineapple in
pineapple
it.
and coconut. Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
But it's a wheat beer, so it's fun. It's good. It comes out during the summer. I'm partaking because I don't work tomorrow, just getting some of the honeydew list stuff done. So I'm stoked about that. So if you are new to listening to us, even though we have just a 2-week break in between the last 2 episodes, we normally do every 3 weeks. I think I said that at the beginning, but just so you're aware. But I'm pretty proud of us guys for 2019. I know some of us had to go here and there, but we've stayed on schedule really well, and we're halfway through the year already. We only got one off, and we kind of hop back on. We weren't gone for a long time, so I know you guys appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with us. Last year was kind of rocking us, and you never know what'll happen, but we're trying to pump it out for you. So keep letting us know what you want to talk about.
You're like the Cal Ripken of this podcast.
Yeah,
Have you missed one episode?
I remember when I started that new job, which now is the old job that I'm not at. It was about a year ago, so beginning of 2018, I actually went AWOL probably 2 episodes, I think.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed 2, I think. 1 or 2, but we kind of had a long break in between, so I might have just missed 1. But I didn't get on the podcast. I didn't do it for about 2 months. I just couldn't do it. I was in that dark of a place, at least as far as like how busy I had to be.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a thought of like I can pull things together. It was more like I called you guys always like sober. I was like, guys, it's like you saw something you can't explain. Like from that movie Knocked Up.
Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, Fire in the Sky. Yeah, that's a better thing. Yeah. I was gonna say like that movie Knocked Up, where the guy goes in there because he hears her screaming, because she's childbirth.
And he's like, do not go in there.
Yeah, he was like, I should not have gone in there. I should not have got in there. That was me like before. But yeah. Cal Ripken. He had some nice baby blue eyes back in the day. You remember that? That streak?
He's pretty dreamy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all about how many days can you go in a row, and then later it was like how much roid can you take to blast these baseballs to the moon.
Yeah.
That was the later 90s.
90s. That was the late 90s era.
Yeah,
They had the home run totals up all the time. When I was a kid, like I'd always.
Mark McGwire was bouncing around like a brick.
I remember though. So
trotting around, he looked like he was shaking the ground. It's like, how do we not?
It was insane.
Back when I was a little kid, I collected baseball cards, and I have like Mark McGwire's like rookie card, and all these
he
things.
looks like me.
Oh yeah, he's this little beanpole guy.
Yeah.
And then like over the course of his career, became the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Towards it, and everybody's like, I think he might be using steroids, and I'm like, you think?
Yeah.
It sort of blows my mind.
He might
Not
be.
one journalist ever questioned that or like brought it up. Like, you think he's on the juice?
Yeah, I think it was more like too. It's like they look back and they say like more like, did people care?
Nah.
Yeah, I think it was more of a do you care kind of thing, because it was all about the race, right? Because baseball had still been hurting after the strike, and then there was the home run race between him and Sammy Sosa.
Yep.
I still remember the footage of like the cork springing out of the end of Sammy Sosa's bat.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah,
They had that
looked
way
at
to
it.
bring baseball back, pretty much. I think that was.
He looked at it all confused.
Yeah,
stuff
Sammy
like that.
Sosa's out there with like a Nerf bat.
Oh God, Sammy said. Do you remember? I'm like, I'm gonna kiss my finger, kiss my chest, kiss my finger, kiss my chest.
Yep. Oh,
I don't know how he did
I
it.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But Sammy Sosa baseball. He had a baseball game for the PS2.
He did,
Or PS1. No, it was the PS1. That's how long ago it was. Yeah, it was 1998. I remember. Sammy Sosa baseball, I think it was called. And it was like, I don't know. I
It
don't
wasn't
know if
that
it was
great.
any good.
Yeah. Because what was the good baseball games back then? Like Triple Play?
For what?
PS1?
PlayStation?
Yeah.
PS1?
PS1.
Yeah, PS1.
They were too simmy. All the games.
They were really simmy.
They were
Well,
too
actually,
simulation.
but
There was a
weren't many
few good years though. That, I mean, like you hit some dingers and it felt good.
I don't know,
Like, it was
man.
sorta
I like
arcade-
the old school, like arcadey, baseball stars.
baseball stuff.
You know,
the Sega
that kind of
Dreamcast
stuff.
ones. Those ones are way too arcadey though. Those ones, man.
Yeah, so Sega Dreamcast only had 2 baseball games.
Yeah.
NBA 2K1, which the graphics looked really great, but actually you could not control your fielders.
Yep.
Now they came out with
I hated
2K2,
that,
and it
yep.
wasn't as, but the graphics weren't as good, but you could control your fielders. The PS1 didn't have many. Baseball wasn't the time then because 64 had AllStar Baseball, which was really good. Now that's a dime a losing our listeners. No one likes sports games except there's a time and place
I
for
love
each.
sports games.
But I played about every the Nintendo 64 baseball games are actually very good. Now, of course, they still suffer from the not having
That
any
was Ken Griffey
polygonal
Jr.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Griffey.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. Had a N64 game that was good, but All-Star Baseball was really good because I remember you can control how you slide to each base. So if you hit left as you're sliding, you're going to hit the left side of the base. If you hit down, you're going to aim for the down. It would have different animations for it. I remember it was like Jim Tomei and stuff like that. Tomei, is that how I say it?
Yeah.
Tomei.
it was something
Yeah.
like
I'm not from Cleveland or the
Let's
Braves.
spruce
sorry.
it up and say Tomei.
Tomei. Anyway, it was a ton of fun, and it was a really, really good baseball game. And I remember at the time thinking, like, man, it doesn't have to get any better than that. Then the MLB games came out for Sony, PS2, and especially PS3. They got real simmy, real like they look like television. I remember the first time. The reason I bought the game was I was in a Best Buy and I looked at it as a demo, and I had to do a double take because I was like, why isn't that pitcher throwing the ball? Oh. It's because there's not a kid in front of this throwing it. It was on a big 63-inch TV, so I really liked it. But yeah, it takes like 2 hours to play through a game. You don't have time for
The
it.
hitting on baseball games on the N64, that stick was perfect, man, because you
Yeah.
could really get that where you wanted to go, and it felt right.
Yeah,
Especially on Griffey, man. Like when you hit a home run, like you felt like you hit that home run because
Yeah.
that stick, you got it right in that area.
Yeah.
Remember like Griffey's like range. Like,
If
that thing
I was able
insane.
to make a baseball game myself, like put anything into it I want, I would make a game where like randomly, like every 100th game you play, your pitcher hits a dove.
Randy Johnson style.
Oh, Randy Johnson style.
He murdered that dang dove.
What are the chances of that, man?
I don't know.
That's
That's
insane.
the greatest moment in baseball history.
That is nuts.
Yeah, astronomical. A lot of things had to align, obviously, for that to happen. And what won, the baseball or the bird? Well, you'll have to find out. Look at the video yourself.
YouTube it if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if you're not a sports fan,
Randy
doesn't-
Johnson, dove.
Yeah, or actually
That
just
thing
Randy
blows
Johnson.
up. It looks like a pillow.
Yeah. Poor thing. At least it had
R.I.P.
no
Dove.
experience of pain. The death happened
R.I.P.
before.
Death was instantaneous.
Death happened
yes.
before the body function stopped of that poor little bird. Yeah, it was still flapping. Did you see it? Kind of. Oh, I'm gonna stop talking. This is getting morbid. What? Oh, family friendly. Shoot. It is a cartoon, kids.
Yeah, it's just a cartoon. Yeah.
It was a cartoon. It was way before you were born. You didn't know the bird. I'm sorry, kids. Shoot, I'm scaring the crap. Family friendly. But the baseball games also on PS2. I forgot, like EA. I forgot they lost the rights. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm gonna throw out some facts that I never get to share. But so Madden took the NFL rights. We know about that. Most people
Yes.
know. They took the NFL rights and then took away the 2K because they were making a really good product, and they did the businessy thing and kind of won. Sony. Which was also 2K Studios' kind of subsidiary. Sony actually did the same thing to baseball 2 years later. EA had a very good baseball game for PS2, Xbox. I think it was also EA something baseball. It was yearly. I forget what it was called. No, it wasn't the triple play games.
Was it hardball or?
Anyway, it was their last year, I believe, is 2003 or 2005, and then. Sony could only make the same game. So it was MLB The Show, and that's what they ended up calling it.
Yeah.
And that's been still the exclusive rights. The only way you can build a game as if it's not a simulated game and be an arcade game. That's why you have RBI Baseball made by EA now on the modern systems that tries to kind of play like the old RBI Baseball, but it has the MLB license.
Yeah.
But you can't make another kind of sim legit baseball game due to the contractual rights, just like how Madden brought them up. So it really sucks. It really stinks.
That's a crummy thing, man. Because I feel
Yeah.
like that's why sports games are the way they are. Is like because there's no competition.
Yeah.
It's just
There
one
needs to be
game.
more NBA Jam-ish kinds of things.
Oh, but a nice Kansas City thing that never happens. I don't know if you guys know this. Never have we had an athlete on the cover of a major sporting game in Kansas City Royals. Even after we won the World Series, I was thinking Hosmer might get it. But Patrick Mahomes is
it's
very
on the
much
cover.
the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
So even though I don't play Madden or anything anymore, when that gets to be the $5 at the end, I'll get it just to put on my shelf.
And
'Cause
now
it-
his career is over.
It's
Yep.
kind of cool to.
I'm curious to see Madden
The
curse
Madden
hits.
curse.
Man, everybody's hyped up on some Mahomes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a little debunked from the curse was very big the first 5 years,
Yeah.
but it's been
Cold
kind of
pepper.
hit and miss. I mean, they had the guy Peyton Hillis for 2003. Holy, you guys are nice at me pulling this stuff out of here, but I'm glossing over too much sports. Too much sports. We're losing people. But Peyton Hillis was a running back that was much a one-hit wonder for the Cleveland Browns. He did Madden 2005. Does that sound right?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
2006, 2008,
Yeah.
2010. It might have been newer than that. It might have been. Oh yeah, this is probably.
It had to have
2000.
been 4 through 8. I
No,
would say.
yeah, I'm missing out. This is probably 2010 or 12, actually.
You think?
Yeah, it's that.
Was it
new.
that late?
It's that late. Yeah, because
It could be
even
10, yeah,
Here's
now
the
I
thing:
think about it.
2010 was 9 years ago, guys.
Oh, yeah.
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 that's
Yeah, it's
true.
part of getting older.
Peyton Hillis actually played for the Chiefs. We
he
picked
was
him
horrible.
up because he wanted a big contract. They didn't give it to him. He was a big hitter. If you look up Peyton Hillis highlights, he looked like
He had a good 1 year.
Jeez, yeah, he was awesome. But then he just lost it. He got an injury and then just never came back. Oh well, too bad. I think he's still probably doing okay. I don't know. Can we quit talking about sports?
No more
Yes, no
sports.
more
No more
sports.
sports.
Sorry,
no more
sorry.
sports.
We did it for a while. Thanks for obliging me, guys. So moving on. A system that played sports well back in the day, but also played many things well, is this Genesis Mini. We talked about it last episode when Shane wasn't here. Before we talk about the new games released, Shane, you have any quick tidbits about how excited you are? You are the Genesis guy of the three of us as far as big. I'm a fan. Adam's a fan, but that's one of your top three favorite systems, right?
How many Genesis tattoos do you have?
I had 20 Genesis tattoos. No, I don't have any Genesis tattoos.
Oh, okay.
But you're pretty
Adam.
stoked about this thing.
I am
and
stoked about
You're
it.
not a guy that, you don't buy the hot thing. You wait till it goes, but you're going to buy this at
I'm going to buy it
launch.
day one just
Yeah.
because it looks
that
like
tells
they,
you
yeah,
something.
it looks like they've done it well with like the list that just keeps coming up, and the price point's good to me where it should be. So I mean, everything looks good. The packaging looks awesome. 2 controllers.
Yeah.
Tons of games.
So
Looks
you
amazing.
dig it as much as we do. Last episode, we talked about, I believe, 20 of the games that have been released out of the 30, and 10 more have been released. I have not gotten to see them yet. I think you guys have, so I'm kind of excited to get the reveal live. So what are the next 10 games? Even though this thing's still not coming out for another like 5 months.
Yeah, I think that's why they're slow rolling it
Yeah,
so
but
much.
still,
is to
5
sort
months
of
is-
try to
So they
build.
can
I
keep
know.
podcasts talking about it for multiple
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they're like, checks in the mail, video game dads.
Here's your Sega money.
So
Sega money's the best money,
hit me
baby.
up. Do it one by one. Adam, let me know what other.
Adam's got
All
the
right,
list
here we go.
pulled
I
up.
got
Yeah,
it
hit
here
us
in
with
front
us.
of me.
Yep.
So the first one of the new batch is Beyond Oasis.
Oh,
Nice. Yep.
interesting.
Yep.
So it's RPG.
It's like an action overhead.
Sort of like a Zelda type
Yeah,
of game.
Oh, wait a second.
RPG,
I know
beat 'em
what this
up
is.
ish
Yep.
kind of game.
Is this the one where the characters almost kind of look Final Fantasy-ish? Like they're kind of a
sort
little
of like that in
extra.
a mix between Aladdin and
Yeah,
Final
it very looks
Fantasy.
very
Yeah.
Aladdin. Yeah,
No.
it's very cartoony.
I know about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, it looks like a cool game. I've never,
never
played
played
it.
it.
I know a lot of people really like it though.
Yeah. I have heard about it. I know which game we're talking about. The sprites are kind of bigger. Here's the thing. RPGs, the sprites are so freaking tiny.
yeah.
Maybe that's why I don't like it. They look like my thumb. I'm like, come on, guys, go through puberty.
My first RPG experience, it might have been Final Fantasy on NES, but I remember getting going over to a friend's house and he had like Super Metroid and a bunch of stuff, and he had like Final Fantasy 2. And I just remember being like, how do I punch and kick people?
Yeah.
And it was just like text and words and like
Yeah,
the
too
whole
much.
whole arrangement didn't make any sense to me. But I think this is an RPG that might have made sense to me back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little bit more action RPG.
Yeah, it's
right?
action.
It's a little more quasi.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds great. Next game.
Ghouls and Ghost. A
Forget
nice, easy
about it.
beginners kind of game.
Awesome. One of the better versions of Ghouls and Ghosts.
Okay, tell
Or
me more
Ghosts
about
and
it.
Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts,
Wait,
whatever you want to call it.
I'm a novice here. I didn't realize there's a difference between ghouls and ghosts and goblins. Is that just like the same series? Do
I
we
guess
know?
this is like the sequel, right?
I guess I get confused. I would say, it's still the.
I mean, it's Ghosts
Yeah,
and Goblins.
it's Ghosts and
basically.
Goblins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually indifferent. I would not have wanted this on here, but I see why it's on there. I don't hate it. This list so far is so great. They can't all be winners.
Yeah, a lot of people really love this game, though.
Yeah,
And
so
I think it's one of the better versions. I mean, that and the Sega Master System
Yeah.
one is great too. So
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I don't know the difference. I want to say it's the same game, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay.
see, I don't
mean,
know
it's
either.
not. It's not. I understand why it's there. I'm just speaking personally. I am in 100%.
I think Ghouls and
indifferent.
Ghosts and Goblins is the same. I'm going to have to look this up.
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
So TBD. Next game.
Alex Kidd.
I called this, didn't I?
Yeah.
Last time I thought they were going to do Alex Kidd. I would much rather have Kid Chameleon.
Yeah, Alex
Yeah.
Kidd is. I mean, he's sort of a Sega staple, but
guess,
the
to
games
who?
are.
A
Like,
failed Sega staple.
yeah, but the games are poop. I mean, they
Yeah.
really are. They're
Yeah.
not good.
Alex Kidd. Here's one thing though. This, we have kids. We're family guys.
It's not a
Peter
horrible
Griffin.
one. Yeah.
It's a good one for an actual kid. It's colorful, I guess. But at the end of the day,
It doesn't play good. It's just not a good game.
Okay, so far you're kind of. I'm not so happy about these. Give me a better one. Keep going, Alex Kidd.
You'll like this one. Golden Axe.
Okay.
Golden
Wait,
Axe
is this
is
our
awesome.
first Golden Axe?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, so this is a given. I would much rather have two than one.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm
agreed.
not super happy about it because if now I'll be upset
Well,
if they
there's
don't
still
have
10
two.
more. There's still 10 more to
No,
go.
but then I'd
Golden
rather
Axe
have
2
them only
might
have
been-
one to take up the space. I want this to be I want this to kind of make Nintendo sweat a little bit because they've got more games.
Oh, they're sweating.
You
They're
know?
sweating.
No, they're
Nintendo
not.
doesn't
Yeah.
sweat. They drink their own urine over on their own island. They are self-sustaining. They will never make a game cheaper than 10 cents off. Next game.
Fantasy Star.
Okay, good. Again, not for me, but I'm glad they put it in there.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's text over the top of this. It's actually Fantasy Star 4, which is the most highly regarded of the Fantasy Stars.
I'm glad.
Fantasy Star
I'm
Fantasy Star is a Master System game.
Yeah. I'm not a RPG guy at all, and this one I always wanted to play. It looks awesome.
I played some of it.
It
yeah,
looks. The graphics
it's
look
good.
awesome on it, man.
How many
I love-
RPGs are we up to out of this list?
There's a lot. There-
few. I mean,
there's-
there's not really. I mean, Fantasy Star 4 is like the most true RPG-ish of them. I mean,
I don't know. I think there's a decent amount. I can't.
you
recall,
got
but-
Shining Force, which isn't really straight up RPG.
It's not. Yeah,
There's-
you're right.
Yeah, Beyond Oasis is not straight up RPG.
Yeah, that's true. I
Beyond
guess,
Oasis
yeah.
is like
Yeah.
the whatever
That's
the one
true.
is where the NES where you put the map in the ground or whatever,
Yeah.
you put water on it.
So Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. I think that's a
I
Championship
never played
Edition.
Street Fighter 2 for the Genesis. Is it as
Or
good
sorry,
as-
Special Champion Edition. Yeah, I don't think
I
there's
always hate it
actually.
when Street
Yeah,
Fighter
there's
did
too
that.
many.
There's too many of them.
It's even worse in Japan. They had like Special Rainbow Champion, blah blah blah, and there's even more Japanese versions of Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter on the Sega Genesis is good. It's good.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
would always prefer Super Nintendo though, but
Is this our
is
first
good at it.
fighter so far? I wanted Eternal Champions. I'll just say it.
Yeah,
Eternal Champions. I would over Street Fighter because here's the thing. Street
the
Fighter.
answer to that is yes. It is really the first like true
Okay,
fighter.
so that's why it's in there. I almost feel like they might have one more, but technically it's not a big fight. I would have loved Eternal Champions.
It's because
I know.
Capcom will let you put Street Fighter 2 on anything.
Yeah,
True.
that's their sacrificial. build.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a refrigerator with like the TV in the door, I'm pretty sure Street Fighter 2.
How many have you listed out? Have you listed out 5 or 6 so far?
That was number 6.
Oh wow! So I've only got 3 more, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 4.
Four more,
Four
yeah.
more. Okay.
Okay, the next one is kind of a cool one. Mega Man: The Wily Wars.
This is cool.
Okay.
This
Tell me
is
about
very
it. I don't
cool.
know anything about it.
This one was never released in the U.S.
Yeah, only it was,
Well,
but
it was.
only on the Sega Channel, never
Oh, was it
physical.
Sega Channel?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a Sega Channel game.
at games.
Oh,
when-
this was they did this.
There was a European, I think,
Yeah.
physical release,
Yes,
but
yep.
but Anyway.
Yeah, no, the At Games actually released it on one of their consoles, I guess, too.
Oh,
when
did
did that? Yeah, but that thing's a pile
Yeah,
of
I mean,
junk, so,
you can get hacks of it. And
But
all
this
kinds
is
of
really
stuff,
cool
but
that that's on there, though.
Awesome.
It's supposed to be really good.
the next one will get you excited, Ben. Sonic Spinball.
I knew that was going to be it.
Shoot! Are you serious?
I don't know why you hate Sonic Spinball so much.
Because it's stupid. it's really dumb. It's like, hey, here, let's take Sonic. You like something else? Let's mix the two. Hey, Mario. You like Mario? Do you like drinking beer? Let's have Mario drink.
Well, they did have a Mario pinball, so I mean,
They did have a Mario pinball.
Mario
And
Land
they had a
pinball.
Yoshi pinball, right?
guess what? Mario pinball wasn't good. They didn't have they had Yoshi's.
It's not terrible.
Curvy, whatever. The Mario pinball is. Here's the thing. It's got annoying play features.
It does, but it's not terrible though.
No, like gameplay mechanics are okay, but it's not a good game. You never want to play it. You play it once, it's cool, it's all right. Sonic Spinball is like, it's just really stupid. I
haven't played that in years.
It's just not
I can't remember
good.
the play field or nothing. I remember.
Oh, I can. The first one's like you're in like a sewer and it's a
Yeah,
3-tiered
and you
thing.
can't get out of it. So
yeah, it's actually pretty hard to progress in the game.
So
after
Sonic
that first
Spinball,
level, yeah.
basically, you get Sonic for a second. You're like, oh, this is a Sonic game. You get to walk, but then you walk into the point where you turn into a pinball, and then you're kind of a pinball forever. And in order to get to like the second tier and the third tier, you can't let your Sonic ball drain, and then you have to just work your way back up by like hitting the thing 10 times to break through to get to the top. It's super frustrating and super not something I would want to play. Now, my friend had it, and at the time, there wasn't anything quite like it, so you did it for the nostalgia of just like, the switch clicks in and clicks out, and you do it a few times. It's kind of like you're doing it because you haven't quite seen it before. But as a game, that's why I don't like it. It's not a good game. It doesn't use the mascot well. It's ugly. The gameplay isn't good.
Send the hate mail to Benjamin.
Yeah. So, if you're a
Yeah,
Sonic,
I don't know. I don't hate it that much.
Okay,
I
well,
think,
if you like
it's
I want to
tolerable.
play it again.
So
I don't know.
if you like Sonic Spinball,
Yeah. Allow me a tangent, however. So I like video pinball games.
Yeah,
you know,
you're a
generally.
big
this
pinball
is
fan.
just not a
But,
video pinball game.
But yeah,
This is
just
a
in the
hack.
last few months, actually PRGE. I picked up Crew Ball.
Oh yeah.
So that's a Motley Crue
Pinball
game
on
for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Crew Ball's great.
Crew Ball's not bad. It's
I would take Crew Ball over this.
Yeah, Crew Ball's cool.
Well,
And but actually the best pinball game in my opinion on the Genesis is Dragon's Fury, which is the same as Devil's Crush. It's the Genesis version of Devil's Crush.
What about
and
Dino
it's really good.
Land?
What? No. Dragon's Fury. Look
Have you
it
ever
up.
played Dino Land before?
No, I haven't. But Dragon's Fury is awesome. Dragon's Fury is great, and I dare say it's almost as good as Devil Crush on TurboGrafx.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, bold statement.
I mean, I know.
I mean, it's basically the same game. They just took out the pentagram.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
I
That's
actually
true.
think the Genesis version is a little easier.
so more fun.
I know out of 40 games, they're going to have some Sonic in there. I just feel like
There's a lot of Sonic in here.
I
so
know
far.
that is
You gotta
the
get
other
every
thing.
And we
Sonic
still got 10 to go, man. Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles or both are
But
still
I'm
going to
kind
be
of
in
done.
there.
Again, I'm kind of
Sonic
done.
and
Sonic,
Knuckles deep,
he's
buddy.
got his own stupid movie coming out. I like
That's
Sonic.
why he's got 5 games on this thing.
He doesn't need Spinball. I'm gonna die on this hill here. He doesn't need Spinball. We've already got all the other ones. It's fine.
We need Spinball.
No, we don't need
What-
Spinball.
Okay, so what do we got on the next one here? What do we
So,
got?
so the next is Vector Man.
Nice.
Nice, solid.
Happy
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
a good
one.
pick.
That's a good pick.
Vector Man's great.
It's not the greatest game in the world, but it's.
I think Vector
it's
Man
unique.
2 actually is a little better.
Yeah.
But
Do you guys remember
unique.
the Vector Man Blockbuster thing? This is before the internet. I think you could still find information about it. So they did the sweepstakes, and Vector Man was only initially playable, I believe, at Blockbuster before it was released. So it was
really?
one of those where like you could only rent it before you could
Oh,
buy it.
yeah, I remember him doing
And
that
they
on some
had
games. Yeah.
it was either $100,000 or $1 million winner where one of the carts, and you had to get it and actually like almost rent it from Blockbuster, which is weird because like they would have a lot of Vector Mans at Blockbuster, and I think it was for this promotion or they knew it was going to be a big game. They really highly promoted it. And if you think about it for
Oh yeah, this was the answer to Donkey Kong. This was their
guess.
pre-rendered.
yeah, and it looks really
graphic
cool.
showcase,
The
yeah.
graphics are really different. It's hard to describe, but anyway, Vector Man was a game that looked like nothing else, and there was a lot of hype. But they also had this thing where I believe 2 or 3 of the games are made. As soon as you put it in, it'll tell you you're a winner, and there's no tournament. There's no mail-in rebate sweepstakes. Basically, if you buy Vector Man or you're able to play it or you're able to rent it when it first comes out, they had I believe it's like I think it wasn't $1 million. That would be too much, but I think you'd win $100,000 if you found the cartridge that said you're a winner. Oh, and I know we don't talk about this because obviously they were turned in, but if you happen to find one of those, forget the freaking NES Championship Gold Edition, whatever, all the people who say what the most rarest game is, and that one for Atari, the Air Raid or whatever, it would probably be the Vector Man winning the championship, because what happens is you put it in your system and then all of a sudden the lights flash like crazy, because I remember seeing this on a news story back in 1993 or whatever it was for some reason, and it basically flashes like you're a winner. And I remember because they found the first two reasonably quickly, and the third one, the parent almost returned it because they're like, this game's broken. Anyway, it was really weird.
Nothing like winning a bunch of money and
Yeah,
getting a
yeah. I
seizure.
think the kids that got it, their names were Augustus Gloop.
Yeah. Mike TV.
Yeah, Mike TV.
And Veruca Salt.
Yeah, Veruca Salt.
There you go. I want it now. I want Vector
I
Man.
want that one, Daddy.
But anyway, sorry for that. Hopefully that's interesting. Maybe you guys remember it better than me, but I remember that was a thing, and it was only a blockbuster.
I strongly dislike Vector Man, personally.
Really?
Though, yes.
It just doesn't have the character.
It doesn't
You're
control
giving me crap
well.
about Spinball.
No, Spinball's a better game than Vector Man.
What is going
Yeah,
on?
I'm on record.
What?
It's Vector Man's unplayable.
No.
Like the way the screen snaps when you turn your
Yeah, it is
character.
funky.
Okay.
The controls are bad. It only looks pretty. It is not a
How
good
about
game.
this, Adam? I actually would be complete agreement with you until I recently became an adult.
Until you brought Sonic Spinball.
No. I'm throwing out Spinball. This is a different argument. Vector Man, I agreed with you because I played it as a kid and I tried to play it like Sonic, or I tried to play it like an action game.
He's too fast. You overstep everything you want to do,
You
and
do.
he doesn't control well.
Now, if you play this game not playing it fast, it becomes a completely different game, and actually I liked it. I didn't do that till I was an adult, and I did it about 2 years ago.
Well,
when
I tried to
played through a
replay it
collection.
not too long ago, and I
And you
guess
still didn't like it?
I
Okay.
still don't
Well,
like it.
It's
Yeah.
not for everybody. I actually didn't like the game for the same complaints you had. I recently started to play it really slow and really methodically, almost like a strategy game. And I would go real slow and make sure I'd shoot the thing and do all this.
Yeah, I remember being very disappointed with that one
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah, I ended up liking it now, but I see why it's in there. I'm happy it's in there.
No, it makes
Oh,
sense.
I see
it
why
makes
it's in
total
there.
sense why
Yeah.
it's in there, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's okay. It's not the greatest game in the world, but I'm glad it's on the list.
How many got? 2 more left?
Now one more.
Oh.
Wonder Boy and Monster World.
Boom, good.
Boom.
Okay,
Very
good.
That's
Very good.
that's a very good pick.
And they've been
Why would they have Alex Kidd on top of that? It's like, hey, would you like RC Cola or freaking Coca-Cola?
I
What the
like RC
French?
Cola, man.
I like RC.
What is-
I like RC Cola.
RC
every-
Cola's got the
once every
bite.
10
You're
years.
just playing contrarian. You like RC Cola and
I do.
Sonic
RC Cola
Spinball.
and a
You are
moon
a
pie.
terrible human being. With the French. RC
No, man.
Cola.
RC Cola turned me. That's how I became a man.
It's a quarter for- it's a quarter for a
You just drink
reason.
some RC Cola.
It's 1/4 for a reason in a machine.
No, man. RC Cola. It's right next to Jolt Cola.
Oh, man.
Yeah, both those.
One of our barbecue places up here, they sell RC Cola with their barbecue. It's like, yep, give me that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, get out of here. RC Cola.
Yeah. RC Cola.
Hey, did you ever want a cola that right when you open it, it goes flat? RC Cola.
It does. It is sort of flat. When
Yeah,
you-
it does.
It does. Now that I think about it,
They don't
I
even
like
get
it,
that
though.
right. How do you not get even water can be made with seltzer? They're like, I don't know if we got this quite right. Let's just ship it in there. Let's call it Royal Crown. That makes it seem prestigious. The other ones still are made from cocaine, and they call themselves Coke. They know what's up. They know what they are.
Oh, man. RC Cola and a moon pie. That was like a thing, man.
Yep.
Jiminy
Yep.
Christmas. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So far, I will say like these last 10, we've got still some good ones, but not as strong as the first 20.
I don't know. I think
revealed.
I think as far as Genesis stuff goes, pretty strong lineup.
Yeah,
but at
I
least
think it's
very
weird because
recognizable.
like they chose to go with like Golden Axe and Vector Man, and you didn't go with like Vector Man 2
know.
or Golden Axe 2.
I
You
know.
know,
Yeah,
I think
both of
that's
which are better
you could really
games.
just
Yeah.
knocked it out of the park
Remind
if you
me.
gone twos.
Street Rage 2's in there, but
Yes.
not the original. So it's
Yep.
weird. So they did that.
Yeah, I know it's really weird.
And we're okay. So let's be real. We've only got 9 left. They have yet to say Sonic and Knuckles or 3, right? Or did
Correct. And I get.
They'll be on there.
I almost guarantee you one of those is going to be in there.
Sonic 3, I guarantee will be on there.
I almost feel like 3, maybe 1, 2, and 3, or like one of the weird ones is missing, like either 2 and Knuckles. So those are going to be there. So we're only kind of down to 9. I kind of thought Kid Chameleon would go, but they've got enough. Like, why, Alex?
I'm
Kidd?
really hoping Rocket Knight Adventure is going to be in,
Oh,
in
good
the
call.
ones that are
Good call.
because they have Bloodlines in there, and that's a Konami game. So they already have a deal with Konami. So I bet Rocky Knight Adventure is going to be the ringer and the ones that are still out there.
I hope so. But remember, they sold their rights to that company that redid the remake for PlayStation 3. They re-released Rocky Knight Adventure for digital.
And they've actually redone it once too, because it's on like
so
Steam.
I hope it's
It's
not
like a different
caught
game.
up in litigation.
I'm hoping Bubsy
Rocky,
isn't on there.
yeah, Rocky Knight Adventure is such a good game.
I kind of feel Bubsy might not be. It's such
I
a,
hope
it's
not.
like too
I
many,
don't like
too many.
Bubsy.
Like Alex Kidd makes sense. Kid Chameleon, I know it's not great, but I
Musha
liked
could still be on it.
Musha.
Yeah, might be.
Okay, so what do we want that's not on? Now we're down
That'd
to the
be
last
freaking
10.
amazing.
So we at last 9 really. We know another Sonic.
I want Clay Lancer and Musha. Neither one of which will be on there.
I know, but like realistically, what else are they gonna put on
Zero
this
Wing.
sucker?
Cheeky Boys.
Yeah, Cheeky Boys.
Cheeky
could
Boys
be
would
on
be
there.
sweet.
Chikan could be on there.
Do they have a shoot? They have one shooter so far.
Raiden Triad. That'd
Yeah.
be sweet. Steel Empire.
Steel
That would-
Empire. Could,
Boy.
I think that's an is that an EA game? There aren't any
General
EA games on
Chaos.
here yet.
Oh my
That's
god.
an EA game too. But
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, I'm just looking at the publishers that already have stuff coming out on here, and it's pretty much just Capcom and Konami.
I bet you Golden Axe 2. I kind of have a
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, I bet
hope
Golden Axe 2
I
shows
mean,
up.
that'd make
I hope
me
so
happy.
because I'm not going to play one. One's pretty bad.
Nah, I like one. I think it's good.
All right.
I think Columns might be on there. I mean,
I hate that.
I know nobody likes Columns. It's not a bad game, but or what is it? Is it Columns 3? One of the Columns games is like 4-player. I think it's Columns 3.
No idea.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I was popular.
Yeah,
in
but
school.
if you want a Genesis puzzler, man, it's Columns. That's,
Get a
that's
little Echo. Or is Echo already?
Echo's
yeah.
Already on there. That's what I thought. I was like, okay,
Echo
yeah,
2
that's
has not been announced, but
So they're just going to release all the 2s on the last
I don't think
9.
Echo 2 will show up though.
Interesting. How long do you think they're going to wait? I kind of feel like they've got 5 months. They might wait a
String
couple
it.
months to release the last 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd still like to see NBA Jam. I'd like to see a couple of cool or
Yeah.
Mutant League hockey or,
I know,
or
we called that
football.
before.
Yeah, but I don't think
There's
they're
a
going to
lot
show
to
up.
fit in. That's why I'm a little ho hum about these last 10. That maybe 4 or 5 are good, and then But before overall, I agree. This is sounds
Hyperzone
great.
Heist.
They would really have to.
Yeah,
have some-
Hyperzone Heist would be awesome. It will
Yeah,
not
but
be
it's
on
not
here
gonna
though.
be on
Yeah,
there.
they're not
I
going to let
guarantee
that
that's not
Turtle
gonna be on
license
there.
be on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, they're going to have some real stinkers to make the overall list be pretty poor. But they already have broken outside of the general Genesis collection norms they have. But then again, Spinball happened 5 minutes ago, so I'm still recovering from that. Just go play it. You say it's good, but like, you just play it. Play it, people, and let me know. Tell me in the comment. And there's no comment. Tell me in an email you like Spinball, and you know what? When we do our charity thing later this year,
We're
maybe
playing Spinball?
Maybe we'll
probably
play
play
Spinball.
Spinball,
Yeah.
and I'll just cuss like crazy, and then be like, "Let's put on Beat
I don't know.
Saber."
I think it's cool that Wily Wars is on here, though. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
a cool nod to something that never really got a real release. That's
That's
sort
what
of
I'm
their
saying, yeah.
that's sort of their Star Fox too.
Yeah, that's
you
sort of
know
their-
for the
yeah.
list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little jab at Nintendo there.
Yeah.
Like, we got something too. Psh.
Yeah, that's great. So, some Genesis love we just gave. Moving on. Another segment we talked about last episode. We talked about the Arcade 1-Up releasing the Mortal Kombat thing. It turns out like less than a week later, I looked at BrickSeek and I found it's already kind of been released. I saw a couple of YouTube videos of people out there that were talking about how they got it or they just found it. So I searched. There was one at my local Walmart. I ordered it, and you can't have them shipped to your
regular
home.
ordered it.
I regular ordered it.
The old school order.
That's still a thing.
Yeah, I picked it up and I keyed it together, and it's been a year, so I kind of forgot all the same mistakes I made the first time putting it together. I would say again, this is something not for a novice person to put together. It is definitely not hard, but everything fits together really tightly. That like if don't you dare try to not get through this without reading the instructions in their order, because they'll have you put together 2 parts of a panel and another part of a panel and then not the third piece, and you're like, oh, they forget, and then you do it 10 steps later. There's a reason for it. So like really
You're pulling stuff apart.
and then you're just redoing
Yeah,
it.
read
It's not
the
like you'll break
instructions
it.
if you're a wuss,
Read
is
the
what you mean.
instructions. So just to recap again, it has Mortal Kombat 2, and Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. If you want to take a look at this in my normal corner, follow us on Facebook. I just posted a picture of my little Arcade 1-Up corner with my Rampage and a little autograph of the guys who we met at Mo Game Con, including Daniel Pesina, who is the original Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and he got shafted on Mortal Kombat 3. Danny, much love, 2 fist pumps up in the air. Stryker is a
Yeah, Striker's a
D-O-
dweeb.
Striker, baby.
Is it DOUCHE? Yeah. Yeah. It's your mom and your sister out on a freaking boat in the middle of the ocean saying, "Are you not so fresh? Are you Striker?"
So if I go to Mo GameCon dressed as Striker, there might be a Mortal
nobody-
Kombat battle.
Yeah, you nobody will know who you
Johnny's
are.
gonna take me
Have a
down.
little piece of white string coming out of your underwear. That's what I say to that. That would be a full shoot. You're gonna have to edit the crap out of this. I don't know. That might play. That was kind of adult. No one will know what that's about. So the cabinet is wrapped much like a Mortal Kombat 2, and I like it. Originally, I really kind of liked the first, but seeing it in person, I'm really happy they did pick 2. Raiden's on the side, and he's looking all fierce. And
It'd been cool if they'd done
lightning-y.
like 2 and then 1 on the other side, or like sort of did a little mix combo
Sure,
with it or something.
Yeah, I agree. And I love how Arcade 1-Up just doesn't go bootsy with their logo. They put it nicely right above the screen on everything, so it's there, but it's also not intrusive. You still keep the kind of the cabinet, even the art around the, it's, they obviously have to cut corners somewhere. It's probably the volume button, and some of the, some things here and there, but really for what you get, it's really hard for me to knock it. I have a real arcade. I have a real pinball. I think it's fine for me to say, like, this obviously is not a real arcade. And I get, it's $299 MSRP. These usually drop down. They're $100. Every once in a while you could find one for like $150. It's still a good chunk of change, but for what it is and what you get, especially if you have some sort of emotional connection with these kind of things, and you need it, it's a great little piece, and it's also like child size. There's about 40% the size of a normal arcade.
Yeah,
you can put them on risers.
Nice, yeah.
But I love the dang thing. I got a couple of IKEA stools. I'm gonna leave it nice and low. The extra menus, the little
you're showing this earlier.
yeah, the
That's pretty
diagnostic
awesome.
menu still works. So there's codes. I wish I could go back in time and go to the arcade and
and
use these
actually do
codes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very specific. So like I read online, it took me about 5-10 minutes to get it the first time, and you have to hit the block button on rhythm. There's so those are Mortal Kombat cab. There's a high kick, low kick, high punch, low punch, a block, and a run. If you hit the block button on player 1 and player 2 in succession, and kind of like a Morse code, like block button on one side 3 times, block button on right side 2 times, and you do this kind of in a certain code, you get to go into the secret menu, which is kind of the dip
Super
switch
secret.
settings and stuff, where you can mess with the
Super
difficulty.
secret.
You can do like a music sound test, that kind of thing. Kind of like the options, but there's also cool little Easter eggs in there. Like you could see all the fatalities.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, you
so
guys
it
saw-
displays them all.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
row.
And it's the original dip switch. And then
Yeah, it
there's-
calls it ultimate demo mode or something like that.
yeah.
showcase demo or something.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, and but here we go. Outside of the little stuff, so you can also change the volume. I do wish Arcade 1-Up would put a volume knob.
Yeah.
I feel like the money of doing it the way they have it now versus not knowing that I have added volume knobs to my pachinkos, it's not very expensive. So I feel like maybe it's just a matter of maybe those things wear out or something.
It feels like the volume goes from like 1 to 100. Like it's not enough and then too much.
So
You're
basically,
like,
these Arcade 1-Ups, there's 3 volume setting. It's mono. I'm never going to complain about the speaker. A lot of people do that. We're in a basement, by the way, so if you hear water going, that's what that noise is. That just popped in all of a sudden.
the Great Flood's coming.
Yeah. But basically, the volume is either off, medium, or high. But really, it's either off, really loud, or extremely loud.
Yeah,
And
very true.
you can mess with these settings in the other settings, but just know that initially it's going to be pretty loud. The buttons, it feels great. You can hop between the games really easily. I love these games.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I played the heck out of them. I know, Adam, you said you
Yeah.
did too. And you got to come see my cab today, and we played a little bit back and forth. And you're going to get one?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when I can find one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to get one. I just gotta wait for the price point. Their price point where they're at originally, like right now, it's a
Actually,
fine
what it's
price
making
point.
me
It's
want to
worth
do
it.
is go get Mortal Kombat 3 for the Saturn out and go play it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think this would look good in your basement. You were all high on it.
Oh, I know. I've got so many tiny arcades. I'm getting too many. But yeah, I've got to. I really want the Mortal Kombat but I also really want the NBA Jam whenever it comes out, if it's still coming out.
I know. I hope it's legit. So I'm.
I almost want it more than the Mortal Kombat one.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was thinking about it. So I have Rampage. You know, there's a lot of them out there. There's probably 6 or 7 at this point, or 8 or something more. I'm not going to go crazy on them. I already decided. I kind of felt like I love these 2. I don't really feel. I know the Final Fight one a year ago. I probably would have hopped on it, but now that I think about it, and it's got Strider on it. It's got some good games, but at the end of the day, it's still you're paying $300 for 4. So
honestly, after the Belt Action Collection came out for Switch,
scratched your itch.
What's that? Oh yeah. I mean, that's a better collection. It's got It's got like 9. I think it's 9. Yeah.
Belt Action. I thought it just had.
6. It's 8 or 9. Well, maybe 6. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's got it has Final Fight. It's got Knights of the Round. It's got really good beat 'em ups on it, and I can play that anytime I want in handheld mode or on the TV. And so I've got like this awesome compilation of fighters now.
Right.
I don't really feel like I need that cabinet anymore.
But Mortal Kombat, due to the fact it was not on JAMA, it was on a different kind of proprietary PCB. The emulation is not as easy to do with these original arcades, and I think it plays and feels wonderfully.
Yeah, it plays good.
I know, Shane, you used to play this as a kid, or used to, right? Isn't it your story about the urine, the bathroom? Was it with this game, or was it Turtles?
That was Turtles, man.
Okay.
Turtles.
Hey, don't bring that up, man.
No, I got it. It's more a segue. Go back to our arcade memories and listen to that episode. It'd be cool. What would be really cool if we made Adam go and splice that old segment and put it in
please
here.
Do not. I'll kill you.
No, why?
Yeah, you're the one that brought it up.
You gave the story.
I gave it up. I shouldn't have.
But anyway, it's really fun. I'm glad I got it. If they do make an NBA Jam cabinet, that would be the only thing I can think of that I would jump back outside. Obviously people really want X-Men and Turtles.
Oh god,
I feel like that's going to be
forget about
hard.
it. You probably set at 500. I'm buying it if you got that collection.
Yeah, I feel like that would be great if they had a Turtles in Time. Maybe if this thing keeps going. I mean, they're very popular. I know this Mortal Kombat one's doing great. Again, I know what they are. I know what they aren't. So a lot of people knock on them here and there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy this product is out there.
Yeah,
that should be the beginning and end of your thought about it. If it's for you, buy it. If it's not, don't wait for it on
but
sale.
But still knock it just to knock it.
Yeah,
because it's not at the full scale. It's not this.
Yeah,
not this. It's like it serves its purpose.
It's perfectly appropriate for so many people out there.
Yeah.
And it crosses that. I wish I would have invested in this. I wish I would have been like the neighbor of this guy. I'd be like, yeah, do it. Give me a cut.
All right. I think it's about time that we move on to our handheld hello.
That was a little long.
It's a long wavelength.
So this is our segment where we give a little bit of love to the handhelds.
Yeah.
Some games that people don't really talk about too much.
Oh yeah.
But that are still really good and worth mentioning.
So
yeah.
good.
And they could be popular, whatever.
Yeah. It could be anything, just something we like.
Yeah. We can go round robin.
Yeah, so I'll go first.
Shoot. What do you got for your handheld?
So I played the 3DS some on the airplane here recently.
Oh, yeah. To Hayman, Jamaica.
To Jamaica and back.
Jump on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Yoshi, or the new Yoshi's Island for the 3DS.
Okay, cool. What makes it new?
It's like a new game. It's like Yoshi's Island, but a new one.
So it's basically Yoshi's Island portable.
Yeah. It's, sort of. I mean, it's a different game.
Makes it
It's
new,
new.
right?
It's 3D.
I mean, that's
it's
sorta-
3D.
Okay.
But Yoshi's Island's a great game. So having a new one ain't too bad. Although I haven't played a level that's like touch fuzzy, get dizzy.
Oh yeah.
Yet,
Yeah.
which that hasn't happened. But definitely a good game. I don't think it's too super expensive or anything like that. I don't feel like this really got much promotion or sold that much though. It doesn't seem like a 3DS game I see all that often.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like Nintendo 2D platformers, especially if you like the old Yoshi's Island, get the new Yoshi's Island.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, Shane.
Adam hooked me up hardcore with a Switch game, and this is my pick, is Darius Cosmic Collection. I haven't had a chance to really play it too much, but what I've played is freaking amazing. It's really cool because it takes like the arcade of all the Darius games, shooters, but it stretches it out super long. It just looks amazing, like in the different collections of them and how they've sort of changed throughout and everything. Mm-hmm. I haven't figured out though because it's an import. So I want to see, and I was gonna look on YouTube and see if they have any kind of vertical screen
Oh,
or
you
anything
can
like.
put it in tape mode.
Yeah, I wonder if they do. I don't think so, but it
yeah,
still
I'm
looks.
I'm
so
not sure.
good.
I mean, they're horizontal shooters, so
Yeah,
I doubt,
so it would.
I doubt it. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's got 4 arcade games on it. So I actually when I was ordering,
Have you cracked yours open yet?
nah, mine's still sealed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I ordered them, I was like, so this is a game Shane will like.
Yeah.
And since I'm importing it and paying the shipping anyways, I thought I'll just get an extra copy. And then when I owe Shane some money, I'll just give him this Darius Cosmic collection, and that'll get me out of it.
It looks so good.
So that's what we did. Yeah.
I can't wait till I actually get to sit down and actually play it, and it looks freaking amazing.
Yeah. So if
More,
you like
play it more.
giant
Yeah.
fish in space,
Yeah,
fighting each other, then Darius is your game.
that's your jam.
Sweet.
What do you got, Mr. Benji?
Well, misplaced my phone, so I was trying to think about it, but I remembered. Actually, my pick is kind of current. I ended up recommending Mortal Kombat 2 for the Game Gear, Sega Game Gear. So back in the day when I had my Game Gear, I got you know how everybody had Mortal Kombat on the home systems. I had it for the original Game Gear, so Mortal Kombat 1. And it's all pixelated, but I remember pulling out the spine and reading in the Sega magazine like a chiropractic nightmare and all this, and it was just so cool. You never had a game like this. I remember the screenshot, like literally, if someone has that magazine, like it was like a chiropractic nightmare, and you saw the screenshot of Sub-Zero, right, pulling out
Sub-Zero.
Skull and spine.
yeah, the
right?
skull
Yeah,
and
yeah.
spine, and it's ridiculous, especially as you learn anatomy, how impossible it is to do that. But as a kid, you're just like, I haven't seen that before.
It's not impossible for the Predator.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, he does do that, right?
Yeah.
Come on, I'm right here. Do it. He's like, no, I see your trap. It's the best, dumbest part of that movie. Anyway, no, when he laughs at the very end, that part's pretty dumb too.
Yeah,
It's like, really weird. Mortal Kombat 2 is an improvement on Mortal Kombat 1, and the graphics, the stages, really just like the feel. Kind of like how the difference between Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 on the arcades kind of, if you weren't playing them back to back, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but kind of the same thing for the Game Gear. It plays really well. It's a great port. The fact that you only have 2 buttons, and it kind of helps with the button combinations for the special moves. You had less, so like as me as a young kid, it kind of like makes that game a little more accessible, because now like you look at the arcade, and you don't know what you're doing. You're kind of mashing buttons. You try to have some strategery here and there, but it's beautiful in its simpleness. So Mortal Kombat 2 is a pretty inexpensive game, pretty common game. Both of them for the Game Gear. It's like a $5 game, retail. So
did it have blood?
Yeah, they had blood. It was real
yes.
chunky, it's the Master System, so to speak. But you could tell what's going on. You could tell the difference between everything. But yeah, the blood was. I mean, the blood always is chunky. It's so funny. It's like it's not realistic as it is. Like when you get into the other or shooters. Like
Well, the funny
shooters,
thing was, I was actually on your Mortal Kombat machine over here. I was looking at the parental advisory at the beginning. And it said realistic violence.
Yeah.
And there's hardly anything less realistic.
I mean, I've been
as far as
uppercutted
violence
like
goes on than Mortal Kombat.
You can't just like open someone's mouth and pull out their whole skeleton.
Yeah, or turn into a tiger and chomp on them.
Yeah, the not beast animality. What a cool name, man! That should just be a name of a game. The animalities and the babalities and the friendships are alive and well in Mortal Kombat 3. 2, I still think 2 just has this weird high to it that it just feels really good. Yeah. In the arcade and all, but I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. But 1 probably is the most archaic and simple. But I still remember people lost their minds watching Kano pull the heart out of the person.
Oh yeah, we played the dog out of Mortal Kombat 1 on Genesis back in the day.
I mean, it was just so cool. I know these kids have their Fortnite and whatever else they're flossing. What are they doing? What are the kids doing?
My 5-year-old this week was
vaping, flossing,
Dad,
and
I want
Fortniting.
to play Fortnite. Dad, can we play Fortnite?
Lexi just pulled that the other day, and I was like,
I'm
you're okay.
God,
when I was a kid, Fort meant some pillows. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm
like,
let's make when I was a kid, a Fortnite was 2 weeks.
Very good.
Yeah.
Dad joke.
Dad joke.
All right. Well, anyway, those are our handheld holla picks this episode.
Hey, listen!
Okay, so quickly we're going to talk about Mo GameCon, August 3rd of this year in St. Louis. This will be the 4th year running. I've been to all 4 years. You guys have been to
3. This will be my 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yep.
We're definitely going to be there. We're going to have a table, so please come check it out. It's a great good time. So the organizers are friends of ours. They were really gracious when we were going through stuff.
Yeah, when my
And-
daughter was going through stuff, they were really
Yeah.
great to us.
Yeah, and so it's fun time. It's a great way to meet fans and things
Yeah, it's
like
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think especially this year we're gonna we had 2 tables. I think last time 2 official retail tables. This time I think we're gonna even have more than that. We're gonna have 4, so we'll have a lot of stuff to sell. And if it's as busy as last year, please, of course, come up to the booth, say hi to us. But I think it was kind of hard to do more than just say hi and some casual greetings. We'll probably have a little get-together on Sunday, the day after.
Yeah.
So we'll, of course, announce that real close to the thing. That way we can hang out with you, and you can hang out with us, and we'll tell you where we're at. And I think this time, though, we're planning so that way we can make sure we spend some time with our fans. We'll probably have like a little meetup or get together on Sunday. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
think so.
Try
Yeah.
to plan up something.
Yeah.
I mean,
let you
the
guys
problem
know.
is we do this, we go to the con primarily to, promote the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's also a good opportunity because I don't do much in the way of I'm more of a hoarder and less of a seller. So I need some way to purge,
Yeah.
some things from the collection. And so I will be doing some of that while we're there. So we'll be busy kind of selling things, and of course we'll be looking for new, cool, fancy things.
Yeah.
And basically to finance my buys probably, primarily, but yeah, so between doing all that and everything else, it's hard to talk to everybody, but obviously, come up and say hi, ask us questions, say what's up. We always like meeting people who, listen to us in real life, when we go to these things. So it'd be cool to meet you if you can make it to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun. And they've already announced some guests. We can kind of run through that and kind of tell about them if you guys aren't very familiar. Adam Karolik is going to be there. He's been there. We did a little interview with him last year.
Yeah, last year we did.
He's kind of known to be the Dreamcast guy, so he's back. Also, Norm, the gaming historian, friend of the show. Listen back to our little fireside chat that we had with him, or watch any of his videos for any of mainly Adam's and some of Shane's stuff. But it's great that he is going to be there. So that'll be a nice fun blast. Also, Pat Contry is going to be there. He's got a nice book that he's going to promote as well. So check that out. We love the gaming books. And speaking of gaming books, Brett Weiss, we met him. I remember just kind of casually at the first con we ever attended.
Yeah, Super Big Con.
Over at
Super
the old
Big Con.
Super Big Con 2015, 16 or something. And he's going to be there too. Yeah.
Super nice guy.
We might talk about
Super
his
nice.
book next episode, just so you know. Might do kind of a little bit of a review, and then we'll also probably have an interview with him, much like we did the last time. So he has 2 books out now. We'd love to promote him. He's been in this game a long time.
His
Meaning
newest book
author.
is a Super Nintendo book,
Yeah,
right?
SNES
Yep.
Omnibus Volume 2.
Volume 2.
So Volume 1's been out, and that's kind of what we talked about last time. And this time, Volume 2, I don't quite have yet, but we're going to kind of review in between this and kind of talk about it next episode, 45. Also, Jay, he is Game Chasers, which is a YouTube channel that has been really popular. It's kind of like a what's that show? The Hunt
American Pickers.
Pickers.
It's kind of the American Pickers of games. It's been around for
yeah.
quite some time. So he's 50% of the main crew, but he's going to be there, so that's great. I don't know what he's up to recently. Oh, they have a movie, I think. Is that what I heard too?
Yeah.
Okay.
They kickstarted a movie.
Okay, perfect. So he will be there. Also, a fellow by the name of Walter Day. He was really kind of the organizer, big guy from Twin Galaxies.
You'll
He was at
recognize
Portland.
him from every video game documentary ever made.
Yes. He's the one that wears the referee outfit.
Yep.
Have we rang some bells
He's
yet?
the keeper of the records.
Yeah, he's also in Wreck-It Ralph. He was the guy that owned the arcade. He actually
Oh,
did
really?
the voiceover,
I
and
didn't realize that.
and he kind of played himself. They did. He's kind of got his own unique kind of look. Anyway, he's written books. He was kind of an early devotionist of high score records in a time where people thought, what?
Yeah.
These are for kids.
Toys.
These
Yeah.
are for people until they get a job. This is before any, he's been around a while. So that's great. I'm sure he'll have a panel. And also all these people will have panels. So that'll be great. I know there's a few others as well. The voiceover guy that I'm sorry I don't have his name handy, but he did NFL Blitz, all the midway games, NBA Jam, the guy who yells "Boom shakalaka" and stuff. He'll be there
That's
as well.
freaking sweet.
Yeah, and also Terry Diebold. He was there 2 years ago. He's the guy who had the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah, you'll probably even get to play the Nintendo PlayStation if
love
you
to
come.
talk with him this time too. He's
super nice guy.
Yeah, and he makes his way around the cons, and this is kind of his retirement. So I helped ferry him back and forth a couple of years ago, and actually had the Nintendo PlayStation in my car. Well, actually Shane's car, the car that I passed on to him. So that was just kind of a neat thing to think about, that this one of the rarest and most prestigious little things of gaming history, back when Nintendo and Sony were kind of working together to come up with the new next generation console, and we all know what happened after that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a neat thing to have.
He's really cool with it too. He's in like just holding it behind like the glass case. I mean, you could really. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Oh
cool,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Very-
I've played it. You've played it. We've all
Yeah.
three played it.
It's cool, man.
Yeah, so
It's
these are
awesome.
all personalities you might know or might not, but you can at least check out their products and things like that while you're there. So we hope to see you there. But if anything, you can always check out coverage, and it seems like a really well put together con. They're going to be there for years.
Every year is good, man. Every year it keeps getting better. So
Yeah, and even if you don't want to meet us or anything, you still go buy some games.
Yeah.
There's still a lot
I'll
of
sell you some
games.
games. All right.
Yeah.
I got them back at
Yeah,
the
it's not
trunk.
like everybody
2
keeps
for
thinking
$5.
people don't know us think we
Maddens.
have a game store, like video game dad's game. Do you remember that? They would come up to us.
Oh,
we
yeah,
spend
yeah.
more time behind and they would say things like, you guys own a store somewhere? Like, I don't know if this was like a warranty or making sure we weren't shady or something, but it's like literally said like video game dad podcast. And
Yeah.
our stuff was not retail looking and stuff, but no, we do not a store. We're just crazy people, I guess, based on all the inventory that we have. But yeah, Mo Game Con, we'll talk more about it as we get a little closer, but excited to be able to do that.
Ultra Combo!
So before wrapping up our very special episode 44, this is going to be the only episode 44 we will ever do, guys. Do you guys
That's
realize
right.
that? Yeah. We wanted to talk a little bit about, we always get this question every once in a while. We had a recent one as well about, hey, games I could play with my kids. We've talked about this a little here before. We've kind of given the normal staples. I asked the guys to kind of think of, let's do some off the beaten path recommendations of what to play with your family, kids, different ages, knowing you can't please everybody. But some multiplayer games that you can play with the fam. What do you guys got? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Me and Lexi recently picked up a SpongeBob game from a garage sale, and she was super excited to play it. So we finally got downstairs and played it. SpongeBob Lights Camera Action.
Yeah.
So it's got a bunch of like little mini games and stuff like that.
For what system? I'm sorry.
PS2.
Okay.
Yeah, for PS2.
It also came out for GameCube.
I think GameCube.
And
yeah, I want to get the GameCube version.
Maybe Xbox. I don't know. It came out for
It could. It's
Game Boy
probably
Advance.
multi.
I
yeah.
have it for Game Boy Advance.
Okay, but it's just pretty much a bunch of multiplayer games, and I don't know. With kids, it seems like
No waggle,
yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, no, yeah. The waggle sometimes throws off kid. Like I try to play Wii with her sometimes, and it's like no go. It's just trying to point and stuff like that. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Mini games seem to be the way that we usually go. You
Sure.
know, like a fusion friend, like try to pop that in, or play something that's just shorter burst of games. But also, it's also another thing is characters. Like it has to be something that she likes though.
And recognizes.
It recognizes. Like I mean, I know this is super lame. I sort of like endless runners, just those mindless little runner games. And she's got this little Ryan's Toy Review. He's a YouTube kid.
Yeah, we
But
know.
he has.
Yeah,
but he
I
has
know
this-
exactly
we
what you're talking
love
about.
to know that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
made millions of dollars before. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I'm
We're
giving
not-
him a shout out. I'm going to make him more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But she has a little game on the iPad, and I don't know, it's not horrible. Just something that the kids would like is what I always recommend, or what I always try to play with her is I'd let her pick it out, and it's always something with the character or something like that.
Yeah, and hope it's not broken, but it's good you're recommending one that's playable because
exactly.
There's a Cartoon Network brawler out there. I think it's called Cartoon Network something, not All Stars or something, and it wants to be a Super Smash Brothers. I recently played this at a game night of another friend.
It wasn't Brawl Out, was it?
No, it was like
Castle Crashers.
No, it was actually called Cartoon Network something, and so it just had like it was like a Super Punch XL Cartoon Network or something like that. I'll show you the cover, but either way, it had Johnny Bravo on the cover, and it wanted to be a Smash Brothers clone. It came out with the previous generation. It was for 360, PS3, that kind of stuff. And it's terrible. It's broken. It would glitch out. I played it when I brought it over to my friend who has the board games and stuff, and play a couple of video games. We ended up playing like Twisted Metal, and that was a ton of fun. But then we tried to hop this one in. It was just bad, super bad. So it's good that you found a cartoon one that's playable.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, like beat 'em ups too with kids, it's great because you're just moving to the right most of the time, and then just hitting a few buttons. There's no common, combo setup or anything like that. She loves Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I'll second the beat 'em ups. So like me and my 5-year-old, we play beat 'em ups a lot.
Yeah,
it works out great for kids. I like beat 'em ups.
Less frustrating than the Lego games. Nothing against them. I like the Lego games. They're good. They're family games, but there's some you need to kind of know what you're doing. Spatial awareness is big on those games.
I've been playing the Ninjago game with my kid, and it's like split screen or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's good. He likes it. But it's also
He's
kind
really
of
good with the camera.
But it can be a little bit frustrating because there are things that are hard for 5-6-year-olds to figure out or to see and recognize. Is this the place you're supposed to go?
Yeah.
Say it again, Ninjago.
You're saying a game made by the guy who did Pulp Fiction?
I am.
No, that's
or is this
Django? I was just making
Oh,
funny.
Django, yeah.
It's called Ninjago.
Ninjago?
Yes.
Yeah.
I only know that because I've heard him say it out loud. It is
Yeah,
a weird word.
I'm fairly Lego illiterate.
Yeah, it's
clearly.
It's a little different. They made a movie, the Ninjago movie.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I heard.
I think it may actually. I think the game may actually be based on the movie. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I feel like the Lego games are a little overrated. That's like some people just go straight to the Lego games for kids, but I mean, it's like you said, it's a little hard for them. So I would stay away with those.
Yeah, my
a little
kid,
bit.
he's just getting now to the point where he can really play them,
and he's a pretty good
5.
player, so that tells you
he's
something. He's been playing Splatoon for 2 years, so if he's having trouble with
he loves Splatoon, but he plays Splatoon on the motion controls. And he will stand up in the middle of the room with the switch 3 inches from his eyes.
Oh man! Oh boy!
Nice.
And just spin around in circles trying to shoot you and stuff. Like it's actually pretty funny to watch. Cool. He uses every inch of his body.
That's pretty good because then
it
wears him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Another pro tip, huh?
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
had one of those in a while.
But actually, when I was thinking about this topic earlier, I was thinking that if you had a really young child, 3 or so, a good game to play with them actually probably be like Sonic 2. Because you get in the second controller and let him be Tails.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like infinite lives. You can help with the bosses.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a good. I didn't even think of that. I don't think when my kid was younger, but that's actually probably not a bad game to break them in with.
Yeah, they could be Tails, but then I would always feel when you're going too fast, they might like start to pout and get upset. Because again, I'm dealing with a 2-year-old, in between 2 and 3, so. If he doesn't see something, he'll get all mad or something. So you can't go too fast because then Tails can't catch up. But I think that's a good recommendation. Or then it also makes sense. Like what's other passive 2-player? Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah,
where you could just pick up the
stars. And we actually played that. When he was younger.
Oh, really?
Like maybe 2 years old. Yeah.
So that worked pretty well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because the second player, you just get a controller and you just point at the stars on the screen.
But isn't that the one too? Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. If you do waggle the second controller really fast, you actually make the first controller spin or something. Or is that must be Galaxy? That's Galaxy. Because Galaxy, I know they can mess you up. If Galaxy actually, this 2-player can mess you up because they can make you throw your hat. Oh that's what it is.
Yep.
No, that's Odyssey.
Yep, they end up.
Sorry, Odyssey. That's what I meant.
That's Odyssey.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Odyssey. Yep.
Yeah.
I tried to play Odyssey.
Playing Odyssey 2-player is an exercise in frustration.
Yes, it is. I would avoid that also.
It's
I would not
my
recommend
only
that.
real gripe about the game is that it just sucks to play a 2-player.
Yeah.
My suggestion, this is kind of off the beaten path. People are
Yeah,
gonna
what do you
like this
got?
one. Well, I got two, but the first one is Ooga Booga for the Sega Dreamcast. It's a lot of fun.
I never played
It's
it.
a multiplayer game. It's kind of like if Power Stone was easy, and also a little bit easier to grasp, but still a lot of fun. The controls are really great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a multiplayer deathmatch, but you kind of use pickups to kind of work your way around, and it's not chaotic. You can kind of sense who you are on the screen. The characters are really interesting. You're kind of this tiki god kind of cartoony Pixar looking thing. But Ooga Booga, OogaBooga, it's an inexpensive game. One that if you're not very familiar with the Dreamcast library, you might not be too familiar with it, but it's a cool game. It was back before buried treasures and hidden gems were a thing. People kind of talked about this game in that way. The other one that I'm thinking is kind of a not typical pick, but I'll tell you why. So there were these Burnout games that came out back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And there was an aspect of these Burnout games that they have yet to kind of replicate now in modern, and it was crash mode.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I
So
remember that.
the Burnout games came out for PS2, Xbox, also GameCube. The original Burnout was great. It had a little minor crash mode. Burnout 2 had a really fun crash. And then Burnout 3, so Burnout 2 Point of Impact and Burnout 3 Takedown were kind of the height of that, and you would do a crash mode that was much like kind of a domino effect. It was a Ruden Goldberg, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the thing where a ball kind of travels on one thing and it hits another thing and it makes this thing spin and it keeps going. You basically drive a car into a predetermined scene of other cars and you try to crash them, and you can nuance the crash of as soon as you smash it, it'll kind of break. It's kind of like watching slow-mo, you know those YouTube videos of when you watch someone get hit with a water balloon and it slowly breaks open? That's what this crash mode is, and it's so addictive. And you get rewards, much like a mobile game, like silver, bronze, gold, based on the points you get. It's a lot of fun, easy to play, and then you can reset because you can figure out in 5 seconds if you did a good crash or not, and you start a chain reaction. It's a
I always
wonderful
like
party
the chain
game.
reaction. Yeah,
That's
cool.
all that is. It's a party game multiplayer, and it's one that's really inexpensive. You kind of wouldn't think to play it, and you might already have it on your shelf. But it's Burnout, and you don't have to be good at car racing games. You're basically just kind of, it's almost like bowling. Think of it like that way. It's kind of like car bowling.
Try and take out as many cars as you can and everything.
Yeah.
Another one I thought was really fun with me and the kids playing is Dance Dance Mario. It's catchy. I'm telling you, I know you guys are gonna laugh at me on this, but it has mini games to it that are actually sort of fun, like Whack-A-Mole. I mean, they're basic games.
What is it for?
For the GameCube.
GameCube.
Yeah, and it has a pad with it and everything like that. But the tunes on it are really good, and then it has all the Mario characters, and it's well done, and it looks good. So I would recommend that, for if you got kids.
That's really cool. Is that a pricey game?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not too pricey. I mean, you got to find the pad with it. That's the only...
Well, you can use, I think, any of the Dance Dance pads.
Yeah, I think
the game's not that hard to find. Finding the full
set with the box.
the game and
everything.
box and
So,
all
but
that's
you could
not
basically
kinda hard to find.
play the game.
Yeah, and it's got a story mode and
Inexpensive.
everything.
Huh.
But the tunes, they remix like original tunes, or they have original ones and they remix them. So
Mario kind of dance party game. That sounds good. That's a good one. Interactive. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Either of you ever play Boom Blocks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game to play with kids.
Boom
too.
Block's really inexpensive. This is cheap point of entry. If you don't have any systems here and you want to do something, get together, or get something for grandma's house or the log cabin, get a Wii, get Steven Spielberg's Boom Blocks.
Yeah,
it's still crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
Boom Blocks. My in-laws who don't really play video games love it. My kids love it. We like playing it. I mean, if there's a group of people and you want to play a game, Boom Blocks is a go-to.
Yeah. Thank God he improved from his recommendations of Bug ! For the Sega Saturn. Seriously, Bug was a platformer back when they were trying to do platformers for the Sega Saturn. It's not good, and they made 2 of them, I believe. Bug and Bug 2.
TOO.
And Steven Spielberg was quoted on the box of how much he loved this game, and I kind of love him because when I saw the thing, it's like Spielberg likes video games. There's a history of him knowing that, but it doesn't mean he's good at it.
Yeah.
He's like the grandpa that appreciates it and doesn't say whoa, it's gonna rot your brain, it could fall out. He just goes with it. It kind of makes me think he's a cool dude, but his recommendations of video games up in the air. But he played the Wii and he instantly thought a game like this would be great. And a company did most of the work. We don't give Spielberg a lot of the credit, but he kind of came up with part of the idea and produced it, but really his name on the box.
Steven Spielberg, man, the guy's a genius because there are a whole bunch of games out there that everybody thinks Steven Spielberg directed and he didn't.
Yeah.
He just was Steven Spielberg presents.
Yep.
This movie directed by other people, written by other people, produced by other people. Please give me a check. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's when you know you've made it. Yeah. People will pay you just to slap your name in tiny font before the title.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he made that Jaws as a little, he knew what he was doing. Yeah, so hopefully those recommendations will be something that you guys can look out for. Let us know too. Because we really tried to make kind of weird, different recommendations.
Yeah, just not the Mario Karts and
give us some too, because we have families and you do too.
The Mario parties.
There's literally thousands, tens and tens of thousands of video games out there. That little things like the Burnout Crash mode. There's probably a lot of other fun ones out there. So let us know.
Yeah.
Definitely. Of course, age appropriate or whatever. I do have my little MK cabinet over there in the corner now. My wife's
so no guy game.
Yeah, the guy game. Yes, for Xbox.
God, what a pile of crap.
We'll talk about that when we get to the Xbox. But just so you know, keep an eye out on our Facebook. We're going to have a poll out there for you guys about next episode. We have yet to know. We did our top 6 systems that you all will get to pick that we'll dive deep in. So check that out. It'll be listed on our title for episode 45. We're going to dive deep into something, get into the lore, get into the, what'd you call it? The butcher mode?
The butcher's view.
Yeah.
Butcher's view.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody ever say that.
I think I just made it up.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but
never
also not, maybe we won't lead with it. But either way, it's coming up, so get ready for it.
Get ready.
Yep. We have to hose down the floor afterward. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening so much. We're gonna have to cut it a little bit short, but not too short. We cranked out an episode for you guys. We'll see you again in 3 weeks, even though it was 2 weeks in the last break. We were just playing catch up. See you again in 3 weeks. Thanks so much. Please email us. Let us know how we're doing. Be honest. We do this for you guys. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate it. What do you say, guys?
I think that's good.
Episode 44. It's in the books.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.